totally unscripted, right?
Yes, unfucking scripted. Apologize for missing last week. Yes.
Who would have thought it would have took that long to find some tampons?
Yes.
I'm not fucking
I
saying
know
that,
you're
dude.
not, but I'm
just saying, this movie is not good. It's actually really bad. You know what? I'm not saying don't go and see it.
Yeah, that's a foreign edition, dude.
How is this foreign? It's Anchor Bay.
A lot less bitching from horror fans, because that's one thing that you get used to.
It's just so sad. It's just so fucking sad. Dan, I don't know how to fucking say
I totally nailed that one. It's gonna make me mad. Like, it's gonna piss me the fuck off.
Fuck me, man. I don't know.
I showed Moodz a girl blowing a dog one time.
Okay. Oddly enough, I gagged about 45 times and I watched the whole fucking 12-minute video.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ, what are we doing here? You're listening to a 22 Shots production.
Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 109 of the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast is coming at you live. I am your host, M-O-O-D to the fucking Z. Baby. And of course, I've always got my two affiliate sorority sisters by my side. Double Shot J, aka JP, and the Jew NES Ruler 22, also known as Jeremy.
But are we hanging out in the sauna?
No, I'm still recovering from my thumb injury because I was thumbing down Cool Duder so hard, so it's like, it still hurts. That's why I wasn't here last week. I was fortunately in the hospital getting thumb surgery.
You had a couple of guest spots.
Had a couple of guest spots. You know, I was in my bed recovering, and I had to call in and call Jerry, that fucking no-good bastard that he is. That fucking dick.
Speaking of Jerry, I'm doing Kill the Cast next week.
Oh, no. Fuck JP, new entry into the Hall of Fuckers along with Sam.
I can't be in the Hall of Fuckers.
No. Sam Edwards is the new inductee into the Hall of Fuckers because he posted on the last episode that Derek and Andrew did a good job, and he did not say that he missed me. So fuck you, Sam. You are now in the Hall of Fuckers. Fuck you.
Now, not only are people getting into the Hall of Fuckers for what they say, but it's what they didn't say as well.
Yeah. You didn't mention me.
This guy not even being loyal anymore, going to do Kill the Cast with Fuck Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Another podcast that JP has no time to already do as it is, and now he's going to fucking do it.
Well, we're
I was complaining about how he has no prep for these shows anymore, and it's because he's recording 9,000 shows.
But we are off next week.
Do all these shows, man. Where do I find the time? I don't know. Maybe stop doing 4,000 podcasts. Jesus
I never say
Christ.
that. I never say that. I don't have the time.
No, you just word it differently. It just comes out a lot differently.
But yeah, so we're off next week, guys, and we'll be back with episode 110, which will be Derek's picks for the Patreon, which is the Southern Comfort film, and we decided to pair it with Deliverance.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Well, I think it should be Deliverance first, and then Southern Comfort.
Yeah, because it's older. Right? Is it older?
Yeah, Deliverance came first.
Yeah, we'll do it that way. But, so that'll be 110. So that'll drop in 2 weeks from when you hear this. Speaking of Patreon, though, we did get a couple more supporters. You know what's super funny, guys? Check this out. So last episode we mentioned that we were doing we're putting up a perk that allows somebody to pick one of the 4 directors for Italian Horror Month, and I posted it the night before the episode aired, not thinking that anybody would see it, and like just so
the new inductee into the Hall of Fuckers fucking bought it.
Yeah, Sam went and seen it before the episode even aired. So anybody who was looking for that, unfortunately, it was already claimed by Sam, and Sam did not let us know what he's picking yet. But I also threw in a little bonus there. I gave him 2 credits as well, and what 2 credits are is how it works. Is that a credit counts as a movie to pick for somebody to watch? So like a what we watched movie, kind of think this credit thing works well. 4 credits, and you could turn it into a featured review pick instead. So if you want to save your credits. But yeah, so Sam will let us know a little bit closer to Italian Horror Month what we're going to do.
I'm hoping he picks Bruno Mattei. That's going to be awesome. I kind of asked him. I was trying to, get a little bit of info, and he's like, no. Didn't know. But I'm thinking
Look at this
Bruno
fucker
Mattei.
trying to sway Sam to pick what he wants.
I didn't say anything.
Because he's a fucking celebrity, so he thinks he has more power.
I did not say pick Bruno Mattei or anything. I asked him.
But you just said subtextually, you probably said pick Bruno Bataille, but you
I just said who you thinking of.
You just want to be a little bitch and not say it.
No, you can read back through the text. All I asked him was who you deciding, who you kind of leaning towards, and it was like that was it. That was kind of
rhyme with Bataille. Yeah, you should pick him.
It'd be fucking fun, man. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, we don't even know what our lineup is besides our
just like that other guy we have to do that we don't even want to watch his movies in the first place, whatever the fuck his name is. What's his name, JP? Gene Roland. Yeah, we don't want to do that asshole either, but we're forced to because of Moodz.
You guys are super lame. That's super lame.
You just have to get your way with Bruno Bataille too. That's some bullshit.
I'm trying to think if I've seen a Bruno Bataille film. I don't think
I gotta use my little keg belly, push some weight around here. Why not, man? Why not?
I thought we were doing good films for Italian Horror Month.
Well, it depends on your definition. Well, I know what your definition of good is. It actually has to be legitimately good. Because entertainment value doesn't factor into your ratings, so.
It does. It just doesn't.
You gotta admit,
I don't want to watch a prison rape movie.
I'm sorry, dude. I watched Ice Sharks over the weekend. And, dude, you cannot say, I don't care how entertaining you find that movie. It's not good.
Well, just the name Ice Sharks. I can tell you right now that that's a CGI piece of shit.
I found it entertaining, for once.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be in a really good mood
to
watch those.
You actually found a shitty shark film entertaining?
Yeah,
that actually is
ridiculous.
to myself right now. I can't believe you just said that. That's crazy.
What's
Mark it down.
funny is I grew up on these sci-fi originals, all the cobras and different pythons and stuff. I loved them as a kid, and I
and they're only getting better now with Ice Sharks.
Yeah, Ice Sharks. I kept calling it Snow Sharks,
but what about Open Water 3?
That's a different film. I actually own that one. Snow Sharks is so shitty.
Oh yeah, we mentioned Open Water 3 last week on the show. But so
I wasn't here, so fuck you.
Which was very kind of coincidental news, considering Andrew actually ended up reviewing Open Water 1 and 2 later on in what we watched. So
which is weird.
That was random.
Lined up like that, yeah.
Totally random.
So Sam, thank you for your contribution, dude.
No, not thank you, you fucker.
He's in the Hall of Homies.
No, well, I guess we had the first double dues. Well, I guess that asshole Jerry's in.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jerry. You don't count. Fuck you, Bruno Bataille. Don't give him that.
He's over there subliminally trying to get Bruno Bataille picked.
What are you, fucking jigsaw?
Yeah. Ah, shit. It might work. You never know. You never know.
And then
fucking put that shit in his head.
Also, Andy upped his contribution to $30 for the month of, what would it be?
August?
I think, no, because it comes out on the 1st, so it would be for September, so.
Yeah, I get confused on that shit, man, because everyone keeps asking the same question, you donate, August 2nd or whatever, or you Patreon, or whatever you want to call it, but then it doesn't take effect until September?
Yeah, because it doesn't take out the money until the 1st of each month.
Okay. But when you do pledge, it's actually for August, though, right? Your money just doesn't come out till the following month?
Yes. Okay. So, I think now, I don't know, do you think we should add the commentary option up there? Or you think we should wait a little bit?
I'm actually really hoping to do one, so I would want to put it up right now, because I would actually like to do. I've never done a commentary, except for when I'm watching films by myself and I'm just cracking jokes. It's no fun cracking jokes by yourself.
Children of the Corn Dew.
Now, Jamie,
I'm trying to be Moodz. I'm trying to put subliminal messages.
Children of the. That's the best one you can come up with.
That's the one that I want to do.
Yeah, dude, Children of the Corn 2, when the lady goes through the fucking window, that shit would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, right. They'll probably be like Jack Frost 2.
Oh, no.
But, at least if it's one of those type... actually, Children of the Corn 2 would be a fun one, because don't you guys actually, legitimately like that film?
I do.
Where I'm lower on it than you... Yeah, so, okay.
But I do realize how dumb it is at times. I pointed out this thing to Jeremy when he was watching it about, the lady that goes out the window, how it, physically doesn't make sense for the window for her to crash through the window that way. The trajectory is completely a 90-degree shift.
Oh, it's totally off. Yeah.
But so stuff like that would be fun. But, I mean, we can also do good movies. I mean, if somebody's like, watch Halloween and do a commentary, like, I can't guarantee it'd be as funny. But...
I think doing a semi-bad to, like, bad film would probably be more funny because...
Oh, definitely.
Or more fun because, you know, you're picking everything apart and cracking jokes and shit. I mean, with a serious film, you're like, man, you know, this angle, you know, that was shot really, really well. Fucking Z's across the board right there.
Birdemic, man. Somebody donate for Birdemic.
That would probably be a great example of a film that would be fun to do. Because I think it's short, too.
I did say that I think we should stick to movies that we've covered on the show. Because, therefore, we've seen them. And, because, like, I feel like blind commentaries are really hard to... I just from my imagination, obviously, I've never done them. But I feel like they would be really hard to, like... do well because you're talking, so you can't really pay attention to it that much.
I just want to spew out stupid shit that enters my mind when I'm watching something. Like Sorority Row, I was saying stupid shit all day when I was watching it this afternoon. It's like, it's just like I just say stupid shit that I think when I'm watching something, even if it's the first time, you know. And
I think that you would actually, I think commentaries actually would suit you well. I think I think you would be really funny. Because you've sent me, like, clips of you watching stuff, and they are funny. So, yeah, that's something that, I want to try it. We've talked about it for a while, and what better time to make it a possibility than with the launch of the Patreon. So, yeah, maybe we'll put that up and see how it goes. So, yeah, cool.
In those clips, was Jeremy sitting next to his mom?
Jeremy?
Wait, I'm confused.
You know, because you're always watching movies with your mom, because, you know, your mom and you guys are best friends.
No, I never watch those kind of fucking movies with my mom. It's not like I fucking watch movies with my mom at home. I never fucking know. No.
I couldn't help myself, man. If we were doing a commentary and your mom was sitting there, I'd be razzing the shit out of you the whole time. It'd be ridiculous.
Because my mom wouldn't get why I'm calling you a Mexican asshole and why I'm saying fucker all the time. Because I'm not like that in real life, but I'm calling everybody fuckheads all the time. I don't understand. I don't think she gets what I'm trying to do here. Like one time when we were recording.
So she would be offended by all the
at the end of the episode, she came in and she's like, you know you sound like a retard by saying fucker all the time. I was like, you just don't understand. I'm playing a character.
No, she's right. You do sound
you
like
actually do sound like you sound more like an asshole, to be honest. But
well, I'm sorry, I don't know my.
It's kind of ironic that you're calling.
Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. It's not my fault. I don't know the ABCs. Okay, I'm trying to get better at.
Lord, so true.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better.
Trying. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I know.
But keep it up, though. Keep it up.
X, Y, and Z.
We applaud you on that. We applaud you. What about your grandma?
What about my grandma?
Do you watch films with her still?
I haven't been to movies with her in what was the last movie I saw with my grandma? Let's see.
You always have so many stories about how you and your grandma went to the cinema.
Yeah, growing up, but when I got older, from age 15 onwards, I didn't really go with her. Maybe a little bit older. 16 onwards, I really didn't go with her as much.
So you got too cool to hang out with your grandma after 16?
No, nothing was coming out. What came out in the theaters between
Jeremy? He was too busy banging chicks.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, right.
I'm such a fucking hot stud. I get so much Wu-Tang, yeah.
It was like, hanging out with your grandma when you turned 16 just wasn't cool anymore with all those.
The ladies went fucking all over my kosher wiener, you know? But who would have known? I'm getting a lot of thumb action with Cool Duder, so I'm getting some of the action with the ladies now.
Well, that counts. That counts.
No.
It's a stud right there.
No.
Or it's a stud in him. Ooh. Gross.
Fucking assholes.
Wait for that to come up. All right. Yeah. We got more Patreon stuff?
No, that's it. I just wanted to...
Oh, that was it?
I don't want to make it an every week thing, but if somebody donates, we're obviously going to shout them out.
Well, didn't a few more people...
It was Sam and Andy. One thing, though. I forgot about this. We mentioned it last week. I launched it this week, but the NFL Pick'em is back for its 4th year. Almost been around as long as we've done the show, I think. Which is really cool because I think it's one of the funnest things that we do. And I really think that's what separates us from a lot of other group pages is we get so much involvement with the community. We do the Secret Santa things and And I love that. I love that about our group. But if you've never joined the Facebook group, because I know for a fact there are listeners that haven't, it is a closed group, so you can post in there and none of your real life friends will know that you're doing that, or,
Yeah, you can hide that shit, man.
Yeah.
Because you have to be ashamed about posting in a hard group, in a private,
But Jeremy, what's the group?
22 shots of moods and horror. So Facebook.com, search bar 22 shots of moods and horror.
Look us up, and one of me or JP will accept your request because Jeremy's no longer a moderator.
Nope, haven't been a moderator for a long time.
Get that fucker out of there, man.
Can we get some Patreon? Can we get a Patreon donation to make Jeremy a moderator?
Yeah, because we all know if I was a moderator, I would abuse my power again, and fucking Mr. Adrian would have got kicked out last week, and I would have got in a lot of trouble. So you're lucky I'm not a moderator, because I would have kicked that mofo out.
So, Facebook.com/group/22 shots podcast. Join if you want. We're going to keep the NFL pool open for a couple more weeks, I think. And then it'll be locked in and loaded. I think we're in the 20s of people. Jeremy still hasn't signed up for some reason.
Because you haven't sent me the email, bro.
I did.
Didn't get it.
I think you're having issues with that or something, man, because I actually didn't get it the first time either.
Okay, I'll have to resend.
But I am
Jewish Mayor Schenkelfels, #1 this year, even though I came in last year. But I'm going to climb to the top.
Dude, we have a lot of people, actually, man. I think there's like almost close to 30 now that have signed up.
I was hoping for 30 this year because we did 26 last year, and that's.
So Jeremy, get your ass in gear. Fucking Jesus.
That's a crazy lot. That's like $600.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dickwad. I'm kind of fucking mayoring a fucking city, okay?
So
Schenkelfeld is fuck about Schenkeltown, man.
Schenkelfeld is a very hard place to govern. I have to deal with a lot of guys who love Mariah Carey as well as Schenkel, okay?
Right, Jerry. Yeah, that is.
JPR lives down on Schenkel Street with Schenkel, and he fucking has his giant blue lights under his TV that blinds everybody who drives by. All right?
Okay.
And look at this fucking JP asshole now has blue lights under his TV like a fucking
It's
mofo.
not always blue. I could change
I'm sorry, but how many beers have you had during the show, Jeremy? Because you just sound very exploitive tonight. Like, you had one. Did you crack the second one and sniff the bottle cap or something? Because you're acting outrageous tonight.
Yeah.
You seem a little hyped up from all the IPA action you've been drinking, so.
I'm jacked up.
Sounds like it, man.
He does. He's
a little more vulgar than usual
tonight.
Tone
you're way up here. We need you down a little bit here.
No.
Bring it down. It's not that hard of a job doing the Schenkeltown, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, none of those guys fight back. I mean, come on.
The entry fee is $20. You don't pay it till the end. Last year, I think everybody paid. I'm pretty sure, but I never got a final confirmation from the third place guy if his last one came in. One of them was Jeremy, of course, one of the last guys to pay.
Every year, mysteriously, all his packages always get lost in the fucking mail.
No, I just didn't.
It's amazing how it's just you, Jeremy,
the
Jew.
I sent it to him though. I gave him this gift card.
So basically $20 entry fee. We'll do first, second, and third place. First obviously gets the most percentage of the winnings. Second most, and third. I think last year, third got around $80, which is pretty good. You know what I mean? And Neil, who won last year, we've had a different winner every year.
Fuck you, Neil.
He made out, man. He got a lot of stuff. So, when he's buying a like $40 Code Red that he had money to spare. But yeah, so if you want to join, I please ask you guys, if you want to join, the best way to do it, dude, just put $1 or $2 in a cup every week, and then you'll have the money. Don't be one of the guys who doesn't pay. That happened 2 years ago with one guy, and then a year before that with another guy, I think. And it's just not a good look, man. It's $20. Like, if you agree to it, just do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't even hurt that much to give away $20 when you have the potential of winning like $400. You know what I mean?
The odd thing though, the second time that happened, that dude came through like 2 years later.
Yeah. Big shout out to the guy who did that. That's very stand up to make things right, And I will say that if it's a regular NFL pick'em, you just pick who you think's gonna win. I mean, like Matt Cantor joins every year. He's been in all of them with us. one of a few people that's been in all of them, and he never comes close to breaking the halfway point. Yet he still plays. He has faith, which I love. Got to give him props.
And of course, I always came in second or third. The first three that we did. But now last year I come in last when that fucking third place gets prizes. What a bunch of shit that is.
I have not done good yet. Like, I haven't done good in all 3 years that we've done it. What's funny is the first year, or the second
Jeremy,
year,
we
I was
both would have got prizes.
Week 1.
I know.
Yeah, we both would have got prizes the one year if we had to play the first, second, third.
Oh.
Fuck, that sucked.
I think we only had like 12 people back then too, though.
Yeah.
So the competition is definitely a little more fierce. But every year I think I'm gonna win. So I mean,
I was picking a lot better. I found last year to be the hardest, and that seems to be the consensus all over the place. It was hard, man. It was like you did not know how to fucking pick last year. Man, it was so fucking frustrating, dude.
Yeah. So we all know the Bears is going to lose every game, so we get all.
Well, I'm most likely going to be picking against Pittsburgh in every game after Roethlisberger goes down.
I don't know, man. Our wide receiving core is coming up, dude. I don't know, man. So we'll see. Pittsburgh's actually, from a lot of the journalists and stuff, kind of favored to not only win the AFC North, but to be like 1 or 2 seed. What the Patriots there, obviously, they'll probably be number 1.
I can't believe that they're that heavily favored, though, man, considering how fragile Roethlisberger is right now. I mean, if they lose him, you would have to go with the fact they're probably not going to get Jay Cutler without him. Yeah, you got to pick up Cutler.
It's not
exactly.
even only Roethlisberger, but like Le'Veon Bell has not finished it. He's the best he's the best running back in the league, arguably. Yet he's not finished the season in all of his seasons.
Yeah, I know.
He's
injuries
not did a whole season. So, we'll see. Like, I don't want to talk to. I know some people can't stand football. So sorry, guys. Just bear with us. But we won't talk about it every week. But it's something that we love. So we do, and it is part of the group that we do. So we got to shout it out every once in a while. But yeah,
hails to the you.
Join if you want. There's still a few open spots. All you got to do is send me a PM on Facebook with your email, and then I'll invite you via email. If you don't get it, message me again. Keep bugging me until you get it.
And the last thing on the NFL pool, right now we're sitting, like I said, close to 30 people. This year's prize is going to be ridiculous for first place. So I don't know how you couldn't join if you're a football fan. Sign up, $20. Like you said, it's gonna be bigger than last year. And I know, like you said, I don't know how much you got, but it was ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It's super easy too now that we do it without me doing all the math. Where you just we don't want JP doing math. You just sign up for the.
It's like Jeremy doing his ABCs.
Listen to our October show on Saw if you want to hear me do math.
Yeah, because you can't do a half minus a half.
But yeah,
well, a half plus a half. Half plus.
You're dumb as fuck too.
But, fuck you.
Yeah, it's super easy. Basically, every week you'll get a reminder, hey, you got to get your picks in the day before the first game, which is the Thursday night game. And then you just click who you think's going to win. That's it. No spread or anything like that. And it lasts the whole season. So it's a fun time. I'm super pumped for football, guys. Like, I think I'm calling it now. My team's going to go 12-4. What do you guys feel for your team?
2-12 or 2-14. 2-14.
Ooh.
Man, you think the Bears are going to be that bad this year?
How's the Bills looking, man?
The Bills are looking pretty good, actually.
They're going to make a playoff run this year?
Man, I'm hoping for a 10-6. If we can get a 10-6 this year and hopefully slide into the wild card and stuff. I mean, fuck, we still got to deal with the Patriots, which sucks dick. Because
we got to play him once,
I don't think Brady is going anywhere. We got to play him a couple times.
Listen, one of these days he's going to walk on that field and look old. One of these days, I swear to God. Yeah. Or he's going to get killed. I'll take either one.
Drastic.
I'll take either one.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
On that
fuck Brady.
2-14, man. Mark my word.
That's ridiculous.
I'm going to say the Bears win 4 games.
You think they're going to win 4 games?
Who's their quarterback?
I would have to take a look at their schedule.
The guy from Tampa Bay.
Tannehill? Is it Tannehill?
I don't know his fucking name. Shows you how much
I think that guy from Tampa Bay is all right. Better than Cutler. I'm going to miss all the Cutler memes, though.
The Dolphins might sign Cutler.
Sweet. There you go.
Oh, yeah, put him right in the division. Yeah. All right, man.
Hey, man, we have Sanchez, all right? Nobody could throw more picks than him, so I think we're all right.
Huh.
Yeah, fucking Sanchez, man. Oof. Brutal shit. We got some news?
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Hi, Daily Weather. Phone calls are pouring into the New York One newsroom as a several
I've never seen anything as shocking.
Well, just hours ago, police arrested 3 obsessed movie fans who allegedly committed a series of ritualistic murders after watching last summer's blockbuster movie, The Blair Witch Project.
Murders in the history of the country.
Yeah, not much, but we do have some. This one comes courtesy of Jeremy from a site called iHorror. Apparently, I didn't even read this. Apparently, there was like an interview or something with the director of It. Who is the director of It? Do you guys know?
Some new guy.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Andy Muschietti. Muschietti.
Machete?
Muschietti.
Man, you sound like me now.
I'm not. I'll tell you. I will tell you. I'm not good at pronouncing names.
I find that names in film are so insanely hard to pronounce sometimes. You know, like sports figures. It seems like I can always get their names right, and then anybody to do with the movie industry, why are their names so fucking hard to pronounce? I can't even pronounce. Jesus Christ, fucking ridiculous, man. Continue. Let's move on.
So this is what they're saying. Basically, that the producer and it's actually his sibling, and the producer and the director are siblings of It. Basically, are anxious to get a hold of another beloved Stephen King masterpiece for their next film project, a Pet Semetery remake. Which has been talked about for a little bit, and we haven't seen it. But if it does well, it definitely wouldn't surprise me to see them, go that route. He says, we're huge fans of Pet Semetery. If we can get our hands on that and do Pet Semetery, we want to do that. It will be something one day, maybe. So
it's gonna do fucking amazing.
Yeah, so. It's gonna do well for sure. I mean, there's a lot of hype for it, but
it's fucking long. Did you guys read the running time of that mofo?
Yeah, what is it like 220? 220. Yeah, that's good, man. It needs.
That's like the Shining running time right there.
I know it's crazy. It's long.
But yeah, man. I mean, the only thing I'm having problems with it, man, is like you cannot avoid clips and photos and like it is just everywhere. Like there's news articles like the It International trailer has footage not shown in the US version, and then they take that footage and they show you that, and I'm just like, dude, like everybody's gonna see this movie before they see this movie. It's just too much.
I've done a pretty good job, man. I've avoided everything, like everything.
I saw one trailer. And
patting myself on the back right now.
It's hard to avoid everything, but I know Jeremy's not on
I don't
board
go to the
with
news
us yet.
And scroll by in Facebook. I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, nope, gonna see it raw.
Well, I read everything, so.
Yeah, this guy's this guy's something else with his readings of things. What did you tell me the other day? And I was like, I forget what I said.
With what? Well, I get bored.
You said something in the chat, and I was like...
Yeah, when I see shit on Facebook, I just click on it. It was with the Dark Tower. Dark Tower, in my opinion, is going to be the new Alien 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said.
Because it was plagued with production problems,
Yeah. That happens a lot now, though. I mentioned that it happened with World War Z.
Yeah, but this one seems to be way more talked about than that movie. I don't even remember reading anything of people talking about problems with that.
So one of the Resident Evils had that problem too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think. So after that we have a news for Shudder, which is they've picked up a 6-part thriller, The Valley, which is... basically, it was a 1-hour drama like miniseries or I guess like first season of a series. I don't really know. For TNT in Germany, so that's coming to Shudder.
But it's not really Germany.
No, it's Deutschland.
Deutschland.
Oh, Dawson Scheiße, y'all.
Your German accent
is amazing.
Good.
I just think of South Park every time he fucking does it.
I just think of Necromantic.
Yeah, exactly.
Cartman's mom, it says, Cartman, your mom, that looks like your mom. It is my mom. Or Scheistra.
Yeah.
After that, it was announced that Mill Creek, I believe, is releasing a Blu-ray of Night of the Living Dead, which is, I believe, the first North American Blu-ray of that movie, which is insane. Because you see, it's so weird because you see so many public domain like DVD versions of it. But the thing that people often forget is to make an HD version, you have to own the negative or whatever they make the HD version out of. You can't just take a print of it or like a DVD and like upscale it. That's bullshit. So from what I understood, Dimension owned that. Which I think Mill Creek has worked with Dimension in the past, but I'm not sure. But maybe somebody else owned it now. I don't know. So that's probably why it took so long to get a Blu-ray, is because you have to have the elements to do the transfer with. Just because it's public domain doesn't mean everybody has access to that.
The nice thing about this Mill Creek release, too, is probably going to be like $14 for the Blu-ray.
Cheaper than that, I bet.
Yeah. They've had some good prices on shit recently, man. It's crazy.
I got Pulse for $3.27.
Yeah, it's still like $12 here. I'm like, what the fuck?
Isn't it crazy that Mill Creek's kind of stepping up their game a little bit? Like, they did that. They're doing a Flatliners Steelbook.
Yeah, I saw that.
No, it seems like it's out of left field, too. They were kind of like, always dropping that kind of semi-whatever shit.
And their releases are their releases are so off. Like, I have the Married with Children box set, obviously, for that show that I do. And the set, it's like one of the worst box sets ever.
Is that the one where they're all stacked in the middle?
No, it's like they're in cardboard sleeves. It's not even a box. It's like just two ends of a thing that you stick together.
Man, I did a video like years and years ago, probably like right when I first started doing YouTube, and I did a video on the Married to Children box set, and it was literally like the discs. It's something like 35 discs or some shit, and they're just stacked on top of each other in the middle of it.
Wow, you should be on the Married with Children podcast.
It's fucking crazy. I was like, what the fuck is with this thing? They're not even in sleeves. I guess this is like pre-fucking sleeves or whatever that they do now, right? But it's, like when you buy a blank tower of CDs or DVD. Yeah, it's like that. I was like, what the fuck? That's crazy. How could you ever...
And they get scratched and shit like that.
Oh, 100%, man. That's bullshit, man. Bullshit.
So after that, we have a little bit. This was to me a little surprising, honestly. One of the more championed releases this year so far has got to be the Paul Naschy collection, and people I was really happy to see people embrace this. Like, even people, because I don't know much about Paul Naschy. I think I've only seen like one or two of his movies. And I really hadn't heard of him a whole bunch for being a huge horror fan. I know that's kind of weird, but I feel like definitely the mainstream doesn't know who he is. But even like regular, like casual, like, collectors were like picking it up and like loving it and stuff. The first Paul Naschy collection by Scream Factory. So I thought that was cool.
Besides Sack.
There's been a lot of good releases this year, but yeah, that Paul Naschy set's my favorite of the year, hands down.
Like, and I didn't even. I've been
waiting for those films. I've been waiting for those films, some of those titles to come out on Blu-ray for so long because, they were long out of print and shit like that, and just really hard to find. But to get, Blu-ray transfer, oh, amazing. And now, being all stoked on that when they fucking announced Volume 2.
Yeah, that was the news. So they really surprising. Yeah, you did. Really surprising. I didn't expect like a quick turnaround like that. But yeah, so they announced
because it's been selling so good.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are picking that shit up, man. So, it's nice to see all these Naschy films getting the treatment that they deserve. That's really, really fucking awesome, man.
HD love.
So
yeah, they look good too, man. Like the transfers on them are really damn good. I watched the whole box set and I was really impressed. So, but if you haven't picked it up, man, pick it up. I got to say though, the artwork on the second one doesn't look as good as the first one. I think Naschy kind of looks goofy on it.
He looks like he's from like the 1700s.
Yeah, it looks funny actually. I don't know what it is. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of those films are from the 70s, kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, all 5 of the films in the second collection are from the 70s. You have The Hunchback of the Morgue from 1973, Devil's Possessed from 1974, and then you have 3 films from 1975, The Werewolf and the Yeti, Exorcism, and Dragonfly for Each Corpse.
Yeah, Werewolf and the Yeti Werewolf and the Yeti finally getting released. It's one of the last video nasties that I actually need for my collection.
Really?
Yeah, dude. There's only 3 more that I need from list 1 and 2, and all 3 of those films don't have releases. And Werewolf and the Yeti was another one that didn't have a release before, so this is the first time it's been released. So
that
was pretty awesome.
I've always wanted to collect all the nasties, but it's like so ridiculously hard.
Yeah. So I think the Werewolf and the Yeti was the big selling point on this one. Everyone's like, finally getting released. Super excited. So that was good though, man. I only had 1 film in the second volume, which was Exorcism. So really, really stoked on this.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't jack the shit out of the price on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the
or the packaging, as Zach says.
There's nothing wrong with the packaging. I don't understand the deal. Like, I mean,
what's
Screen
wrong
Factory,
with the packaging?
all their back.
I don't know.
All
Zach
their
has some problem with the packaging.
All 3 of the Vincent Price sets, the Human Centipede trilogy, and the Larry Fessenden set, and the Naschy set, they're all the same. It's like one of those thick cases, you know. They're all the same. They look fine. They feel fine. Packaging's fine, Zach. Fuck yourself.
But yeah, that's kind of it for the news, guys. Like, I didn't see a whole lot this week. I haven't had my ear close to the ground as much as I normally do when prepping for a show either. Normally I'll just, as I see it, I just bookmark stuff, but I just felt like I didn't see that much this show. But I don't know, like I'm like getting really excited for some films. Like I seen this movie, I've seen stills from it, and it actually looks really cool. I don't know when it comes out though. And the movie is called like My Friend Dahmer or something like that. And it's exploring the teenage years of Dahmer. Like just from the stills, like it looks really cool. Like this is a
somebody
film
who
right
worked
up.
on that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody I went to film school with. It was made in LA, but I just know somebody who I think either worked in the production company or something like that. But it looks cool.
Yeah, I'm down to see that, because like one of my favorite movies from recent memory that I had seen, it's an older movie, but we covered it on the 2002 show, and it was Dahmer, and I fell in love with that movie. Like, honestly, it probably should have even been like higher on my list, because I liked it so much. Like, I still think about it, but yeah, I think Jeffrey Dahmer is like super interesting, so probably my favorite serial killer in terms of interest goes. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why I brought that up. It's not news.
I'm a Gacy guy.
Yeah.
Well, that completely makes sense.
Yeah.
Why? Because I look like a child?
No.
What's that?
You're from Chicago?
Because I look like a child?
Well, I guess that too. I mean, it was all like boy-on-boy action and stuff, but, you know, we'll leave it at that.
I also got invited to a press screening that I can't go to because I don't live in LA, for the new Chainsaw movie that they're doing in August, actually. So expect reviews to come out for that pretty soon.
I mean, you're not going to go fly to
Nice.
LA?
No, unfortunately.
Kind of pussy.
So yeah, that's the news, guys.
Didn't Intervision Moodz release a Jeffrey Dahmer movie?
Yeah, The Secret Life of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
It's good,
Is that
man.
any good?
Yeah, it actually is really good.
We should do a Dahmer show.
Yeah, there's some pretty good adaptations, man, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. It's low budget, but it's actually the guy that plays Dahmer, and it does a really good job. It's convincing. So, all right, so done with the news. Let's get into Moodz Swingz here. The DVD and Blu-ray releases for August 15th. Starting off here, we've got the standard release, which is just the version without the slipcover of One Dark Night, released by Code Red. It's weird though, man. It says it's already out. Like, you can order it on Amazon.ca, but in the States, it's still saying pre-order to August 15th. I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, One Dark Night finally coming out on the standard issue, which is without the slip covers. Nothing else different about it. I don't think so. So, next up here, we've got, pretty much my favorite movie of the year, with Alien Covenant, coming on a Blu-ray and 4K.
That shit's already coming out?
For pretentious assholes like Jeremy. So you got to go pick up Alien Covenant.
Don't call me no pretentious asshole until you fucking watch 4K, alright, man? I know Terminator 2 is going to look fucking amazing in 4K. This is the kind of movie that I think they're going to do a really good job with it, so I'm excited to see that. But don't fucking knock 4K.
Dude, you are going to fall off your seat there with all that cum in your pants. Jesus Christ.
I love it. Don't be fucking me. JP's going to buy one soon, too, so fuck off.
Goddamn hipsters.
Yeah,
Fuck.
man. 4K is awesome.
But yeah, Alien Covenant's already coming out. Blu-ray 4K.
Prometheus is supposed to come out soon, too.
And, so Alien Covenant, man. Ugh, whatever. Then we've got another re-release of Stephen King's Pet Semetery with the worst cover art.
That's really bad.
What? So this is just a standard Blu-ray release. I don't get it. Why it's being re-released.
Because it was out of print, the first one.
Did it really go out of print?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know. Okay, that explains why. So it's got some pretty bad artwork, so if you want to pick up that re-release, feel free to do so.
Pet Semetery.
You never fucking listening or what? What are you doing over there?
I got a message from somebody asking about something with the show. I was just responding to him.
Okay. All right. So next up here, we've got the Blu-ray release of The Scare House. Now, this is a film that came out in 2014, I believe, and it's just making its way to Blu-ray. I'm not too sure why I never got a Blu-ray release originally when it came out, but for the people that are familiar with that film, it's not bad. It's not bad. I know a lot of people liked it a little more than I did, but, it's a decent film, but it's coming to Blu-ray for all those Blu-tubers out there. Jeremy, next up. We've got the 4K release of Prometheus.
Nice.
Bringing itself.
I mean, that's one of the best looking Blu-rays out there, so I'm curious to see how the 4K does.
Yeah,
I think it was shot in 4K.
I was going to say, wasn't it shot in 4K?
I mean...
And obviously downscale. You'll probably notice a little bit of a difference, but yeah, I do agree the Blu-ray does look amazing.
Yeah.
Prometheus, it does look pretty damn good, so. But yeah, you gonna grab that? You grabbing that for sure?
We'll see. Once I read the reviews and I see if there's that big of a difference, I'll think about it.
You gonna grab Alien Covenant?
If it's on sale on Black Friday, I may grab it just so I have it.
Has there been any sales on those 4K discs?
Oh yeah.
Really?
They're $14.99 all the time.
Damn, that's pretty good. That's pretty cheap, man.
Waiting for John Wick 2, though. Fucking go on sale.
Yeah, that one's still a little bit pricey.
Still $25.
Yeah. This one kind of looks more of a thriller. I think it more or less is a thriller. It says an intelligent, gripping crime thriller. It's called Bluebird. Looks like an Asian film. Don't really know much about it. It's Korean, to be exact, so it probably is pretty good. Those Koreans make some pretty damn good thrillers, and actually, Koreans make good films in general.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
and they make good food.
And they make good food. I actually Korean chicken the other night. It was awesome.
We went for Korean food when you were here. Fucking love Korean.
Would it have been bad for me to make a dog joke there?
Those are the Chinese, you fucking
I was going to say
retard.
the Chinese.
Wrong culture.
I thought people ate dog in the Korean War.
Aw, dude. That's fucking Chinese.
Alright, if you say so.
I don't say so, I know so.
Just like his ABCs.
Yeah.
He knows so.
Motherfucker.
And that is going to do it for the releases, man. I don't know what's going on this week, but there's fuck all coming out. It's crazy. I guess previous.
Don't Torture Ducklings coming out.
I thought it's coming out.
I got the 15th here, but I don't.
You might be right. I thought it was coming out last week.
I haven't got a copy, though.
Good. You don't deserve it anyway.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Just like that box set, you fucker.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about doing it.
It might have got pushed back. I finally got Reanimator
in. Did you really? I still haven't got mine.
This fucking mofo.
Stupid.
Alright, so that's the releases, I guess.
Yeah, man. The release, there's fucking
Hitler's
nothing.
Last Train. What the fuck is that?
There's a little bit more coming out the week after, but nothing too overly that great. But
what the fuck is Hitler's Last Train, Moodz?
Don't know.
What kind of name is that?
I have no idea what that is. Release of the week? Man. Really, this is... How do you... What do you do here? What do you do? I just don't feel right picking a 4K title. Just like
especially
hipster bullshit.
Alien.
Prometheus, Alien Covenant.
Oh, Prometheus on 4K?
Yeah, I don't see that shit either.
Prometheus is coming to 4K. Same day as Alien Covenant, man. They're planning that shit. Well, I mean, let's face it. I mean, a lot of people haven't really caught on to the whole 4K thing. It seems like more people that are in our world, that are collectors and stuff. Yeah, I mean, people are starting to jump on the 4K stuff. So, but I still think people are more into the DVDs and Blu-rays as we speak, as of right now.
Well,
so with that,
it's definitely not like caught on. Like it's just, Jeremy said something one time, and I was like, no, they're making a push. That's what they're doing. It's a push.
I mean, every time I go in to buy a fucking movie, the 4Ks are always fucking sold out.
Yeah,
so
but
somebody are buying.
It's they're not over here. None of them are selling here.
Well, to be honest, Jeremy, they're only bringing in a few copies of them too. I mean, are you showing up at these places and they have like 100 copies of fucking John Wick 2? Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, so.
But, I mean, I see people with them every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a push, but we can't say that it's caught on. Because the studios are just pushing them now. They weren't before. I am possibly looking into getting a 4K TV this year. I feel bad because the last TV I bought is only like 2 years old at this point. But it was an upgrade from like a 19-inch. You know? So
that's an upgrade.
Yeah. But I have you guys have seen my shelves. It's designed a specific way now, so I can't get a TV bigger than the design that I have because I have the TV in between the two DVD shelves. But I feel like I don't need anything bigger than that anyway. I think it's like a 40-something inch.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
We'll see. I might do it. I don't know. I have to look on prices, see what they're going for.
They're going to be dirt cheap on Black Friday, bro.
I feel like most of the brands that are on Black Friday, though, are like shit that I don't trust, like some Kajijo. And I'm like,
Toshiba.
Well, you get the TV, then you got to get the fucking player, too.
Oh, he has an Xbox, bro.
Does it play?
Okay.
Yeah, Xbox
I
One's
play. I got a PS4, too. Does that play?
No, only Xbox.
Oh, damn. But yeah, so I will see how this 4K thing goes. I want to check out TVs. Like, I'm a Vizio guy usually. Like, I kind of been hanging with Vizio for my last like 4 TVs. What do you got, Jeremy?
I got an LG.
LG. What do you?
I'm usually
Mids?
I've got 3 Samsungs. All the TVs I've bought in like the last 10 years have been all Samsungs.
Yeah, I'm usually loyal to Samsung, but
Samsung's a good brand too.
I went LG this time around.
But I haven't had any problems with my Vizios that I've had either. So.
Oh my god! Of course, you can't go wrong with.
LGs are good TVs, man. My dad has like a fucking, what is it, like a 76-inch fucking 4K. It's retarded. It's so big. And it's good. It's good. It's huge. It's like the biggest TV I've ever seen, man. It's crazy. But, yeah, man, pick of the week here. This is going to be odd. Because, like I said, I mean, picking a 4K, it seems a little bit odd for myself at this moment in time. So I guess the only way to go with this is probably One Dark Night. It's a fun film. And the reason why I'm going to say this, too, because now it's readily available. The DVD released by Shriek Show that came out a few years ago, long out of print. And this was one of those sought out titles that everybody was kind of waiting for to come out and stuff. So when the fine people over at Code Red announced this, everyone was pretty excited it was coming out. I will say it's a really weird movie. It's a very, very strange film. It doesn't really kind of get going until about the last 25 minutes. There's a lot of story and a lot of strange things that are happening, but I do recommend. It's pretty fun. It's got some nice aesthetics in the end of the film. But One Dark Night, pick of the week, release of the week, whatever. Every fucking time. But let's get into that box office brawl, Jeremy. Do you have everything ready to go?
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about
baby.
Who was responsible for that nonsense? You motherfucker. I was all ready to go and you just fucked me up the bum. You motherfucker. You fucking no good Mexican bitch.
Slipped there and got you back.
Okay, so we did mention Box Office Brawl last show. Jeremy wasn't here, so you can kind of recap that a little bit.
Yeah, so last week we were betting on Atomic Blonde. Well, me and Moodz were.
Which is 1 million apart. 1 million apart.
1 million apart. Atomic Blonde came in at $18,286,420, and I said 20 million, and Moodz said 19.
You said 22, and Moodz said 21.
Okay, copy that. So, Moodz wins because he's a million closer than me.
So what's the score between you two?
Yeah,
+1.
So it's 2-1 then.
I'm not sure. I can't remember, man. I thought you were writing this shit down.
I'm writing me versus Jeremy and me versus you, but I didn't write you versus him down.
Yeah, but this is the first bet.
Oh, this is the first bet, so he's won. So it's 1-0 then.
Correct.
All right, cool. All right, so
it is.
Yeah, so it was. That was a pretty close estimate, no matter what.
I mean, I thought it was going to do better because it's the fucking director of John Wick, and that movie is really popular, so I thought it would have done better than what it did. Mm-hmm. And it has ladies making out in the trailer, so I thought that would have got all the guys into the seats. But it didn't. That's okay. That's still a pretty okay number.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that if I was the studios for that kind of movie. It's pretty decent.
So, this week we are recording the show on Saturday, which is really weird for us. So we don't know the results to Dark Tower. Are Friday's numbers out yet? Yeah,
it made below expectations at a total of 7.725 million. So the viewing estimated box office for Dark Tower is 19 million.
Yeah, so Jeremy's probably going to win that one.
I told you it wasn't going to do that good, bro.
Well, right. You said 32 million. That's pretty good.
You said
it was a toss-up, man. It was a toss-up.
I said 38 and Moodz said 42.
I think the fucking bad press actually killed this one, man.
I had a hunch it was going to do bad, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It definitely did. I thought my main thing that I was focusing on was the fans of the book. Like, I thought that no matter what, if it's good or bad or what, like, the people, because it's such a huge franchise in the book world, I figured that people would at least check out the movie. But I guess I was wrong on that one. I don't know if, I guess, do you think it was the bad press? I feel like casual viewers don't pay attention to stuff like that.
That shit, but is casual viewers going to see The Dark Tower? I don't think so.
Casual viewers who are big fans of the book.
Yeah, but if they're big fans of the book, they're probably paying attention to what people are saying about it.
That's what I was thinking.
I still don't think that, like, to me, my argument against that is, like, if I'm a big fan of something, I don't care what the press is. If I'm that big of a fan of the book, like, I still want to see what the movie's like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but everybody doesn't think logically like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're interested in something, you generally just go see it regardless of hype or talk or reviews or whatever.
That's fair.
But some people are just very odd like that. Like, you get these total elitists and stuff, you know, when it comes to books, and they're like, fuck, I'm not going to check that shit out. Because I think what the storyline in the film, too, is a little bit different than the book, right? So that might have been off-putting to those people that are very loyal to the book franchise. I don't know. It could have been a combination. So
we don't know for sure yet, but it's not looking good from. Well, I will come away with a point because I bet Moodz and Jeremy. So Jeremy's probably going to tie it up with Moodz at 1-1, and I'm going to go 2-1 versus Moodz, and I'm going to lose a point to Jeremy, so it'll be 3-2 on him, me versus Jeremy, if everything plans out the way that we it's projected. So I didn't do too bad. Moodz, you dropped the ball on this week.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it was a coin toss. So, man, I think, you know, I'm leaning towards all the shitty negative publicity this film's been getting, man. Like, I mean, even comparing it to Alien 3, that alone says right there, don't go see it.
Yeah.
You know, because I think there's just a lot of people that won't go see it based on that knowledge, right? So, man, I think it killed it, dude. I think it killed it. But that's the way it goes. What are we doing this week?
I'm curious to see what happens with the TV series now that this bombed so bad.
I say it doesn't happen.
I bet you they cancel it. Yep.
Very curious.
I think they went about it all wrong, dude. They should have did exactly what the book series was with like Twilight and all that shit. Follow the first book, make the first movie. I don't know why they went this route where it's like, I have never read the books. I did see this movie, so I will talk about it later. But I don't know how different it is from the books, but I imagine like quite a bit.
From what I've heard, man, it's just totally set in a different world. So, yeah. I mean, and that's one thing about the books too that's cool is the setting. You know, it's been years. I've only ever read the first 3, but which I actually have a couple of later ones too, and I haven't read them. But and it's a lot of fucking reading, dude. Like those books are huge, man. I don't know how Stephen King writes that much shit, but
he does somehow.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's such a big world. Jeremy, what do we got on deck this week?
All right, so we have the surprisingly highly praised movie so far, which is the new Annabelle film, Annabelle Creation, which has been getting quite a good buzz from not only horror websites, but the critics as well, you know, from bigger publications are praising this movie. So quite surprising that an Annabelle film, which after the first one being so shitty, would be getting this kind of praise from people like Variety and places like that. So I think that this movie is actually going to have a better weekend the second weekend than the first weekend. I think the word of mouth is going to go around, and the critical speaking praise is going to continue happening. And I think it's actually going to have a better second weekend. But I still think, because the first one opened to a $37 million opening weekend, but you have to probably faction that's right after The Conjuring, a year after The Conjuring, and now it's been, like 2 years since the second Conjuring, so are people really...
2 was last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Last summer?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but I don't think The Conjuring 2 did as well as the first Conjuring, so I'm just curious to see, are people going to go or not? I actually think people are going to go. Is it going to beat the $37 million of the first film? No. But like I said, I think it's going to have a better second weekend than its first weekend. So I'm going to come in at $30 million for Annabelle Creation.
Okay, and this is obviously a wide release, right? It's in a ton of theaters.
Correct, 3,400.
I actually watched the trailer this week when I was at the movies, and it's funny to see them say the next chapter in the Conjuring universe. That's pretty interesting.
Oh, it is.
No, it is, but like how they're making a universe out of these films now. Because
they're coming out with a Nun movie.
That I'm really excited for. I think that'll be good. And then they're doing another one too, like the like tall man or like something, the dark man or something. I don't know, some dude, some other character.
The Gray Man?
No, I don't know. I can't remember, man. So Jeremy, you said you're coming in at what on the Conjuring or Annabelle 2?
30 million.
All right.
Wow.
So, you want me to go next, or you want to go, Moodz?
I'll go. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jeremy. I think that's pretty realistic, but man, dude, with the reviews that this thing's getting, and it's creating some buzz, is crazy. And I think, working off last year, or was it last year, Ouija 2 came out? Origins?
Yeah, it's last year.
Yeah, Ouija 2. If they can play off that a little bit, with the good reviews right now, and of course that one was definitely a lot better than the first film, it's working out to be the same in this Annabelle series too. So I think people are going to recognize that and they're going to go see it. I'm going to go with 32 million.
So Jeremy said 30, Moodz said 32.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's going to do well.
I am kind of the opposite of you guys. I tend to believe that the reviews do not affect whether people go out and see something as much as some people might think. I know that it's hype right now because it has, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with 15 reviews. But I also think, is it going up against anything?
It's going up against The Nut Job 2.
Yeah, well, let's not worry about that.
Yeah. That's an animated film, though, right?
Yeah.
That does mean something.
I think it's two different worlds, man.
Is Annabelle R or PG?
13. Oh, it's R.
It's R?
It's R.
Okay. Yeah, it's R.
Oh, that's one good. Cool. Wait a minute. Isn't The Conjuring PG-13?
Yep.
Huh.
No, it's an R. Insidious is PG-13.
Oh. Okay. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna...
No, Conjuring's R just based on... It's fucking scary as all shit. It's not gory or anything. It's R because it's fucking terrifying.
So, I'm willing to take bets against Jeremy and Moodz this week. I'm coming in, and I'm basing this off of the fact that Annabelle 1 made $32 million, but The Conjuring was at its height, and it was the first.
Made $37 million.
$37 million. Conjuring was at its height. It was the only one movie had been out, and it was The Conjuring, and it was so big that they were doing a spinoff. And Annabelle was one of the creepiest parts of The Conjuring. I think that people who've seen Annabelle and didn't like it, I think that's going to factor in huge, no matter what the reviews say. I think people are going to have a bad taste in their mouth over Annabelle 1, even though it made a lot of money, so I don't know why. That doesn't really make sense. I guess the hardcores do not make the box office. Let's just say that right now. It's casual viewers that make the box office successful. So I think that I'm coming in here based on some of that I said, and based on the fact that I think sequels often, without a ton of hype, which I don't feel the hype for this one. Like, I felt hype for Annabelle, like, when it came out. I'm gonna come in.
They pushed the shit out of that.
I'm gonna come in at $27 million. So I'm far under. I'm not super far under you both, but I am under. Do you guys want to take bets with me, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be higher than you on that.
Yeah, I'll take it too.
All right, you taking bets with each other?
What you say, Moodz 32? Sure, why not?
This is going to be another close one.
I think your logic is kind of spot on there a little bit, JP. Because I mean, to be honest, the original Annabelle left a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, talked about it on this show. I fucking hated that film. But I am curious though. Like I'm one of those curious cats, man. Like that is getting good reviews. That just really surprises me. Enough to get me in there to see it. I'm like, wow, dude, like those initial reviews, I was not expecting that. It really caught me off guard. And I don't really give a shit about review, but it is surprising. I probably would have went and seen it anyways because I don't get a lot of horror films here and stuff. So fuck it, I'll just go and see something in the big screen. But it does have me intrigued that it's getting those type of reviews. So I'm assuming it's going to have that Ouija effect and it's going to be better. So, and I think, you're right. I mean, of course, the common viewer does make the box office, but you got to remember they also outnumber us like big time too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it goes either way. It goes either way, really. So, I don't know. It's definitely piqued my curiosity. I was not when I saw that shit and I took the picture and sent it, I was like, Jeremy, check this shit out, man. What the fuck's going on here? And he's like, I already saw it, of course. But, yeah, dude, that was like, my socks came right off my feet, dude.
Is there anything after this week, Jeremy? Because we are off next week.
Negative.
Okay, good. So just to recap, me versus Jeremy, I'm picking 27. He's going with 30. Me versus Moodz, 27 to his 32. And Jeremy versus Moodz, Jeremy's 30 to Moods' 32.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And I'm looking forward to gaining another point, closer to my $20.
Okay. All right, man, that's Box Office Brawl. We don't have any voicemails or emails this week, so we are going to bypass that and jump into knowledge. JP had something for knowledge?
Yeah, this is just something little. I kind of want to discuss it. We're so Stephen King talking lately with the flop of The Dark Tower and the excitement for it, both spectrums. I seen Bloody Disgusting put out an article today or the other day that was pretty cool. I just thought it was something
like a few days ago.
And it's thank you, Jeremy, the top 10 highest grossing Stephen King horror film adaptations. So that's horror film, does not count The Body, aka Stand By Me, or Shawshank, or The Green Mile, any of those big ones. So I just want to, I don't know if you guys might have seen this. If you've seen it, Jeremy, don't say anything. But Moodz, if you
I didn't see it. No, I haven't seen it.
Predict the worst and the best. In terms
highest grossing Stephen King adaptations horror-wise. Yeah. The highest... Fuck, dude, I don't even know. Man, it's so hard.
I actually knew the answer to the highest. I did not to the lowest.
I'm going to say the highest... Is this like of all time? Like, are they keeping like tally? Fuck, I know how bad the Shining originally did, but I'm assuming it probably did better. I don't know, I'm thinking like for the highest either the Shining or Carrie.
Remake.
The lowest... Oh, the remakes factor into that too?
Well, all the adaptations do.
Oh my god. I don't know. I'll say the Shining. And the lowest one, I'm probably going to go with... Shit, I'm trying to think of what even had theatricals.
Yeah, it's weird because there's a lot of TV movies.
That's exactly what I kept thinking.
Miniseries.
The lowest one, man. I don't know. With theatrical, maybe Maximum Overdrive. I don't know.
That's a damn good guess, but no. The lowest I don't actually know. I'm just saying the lowest for the top 10, the number 10 spot. That was kind of a bad way I worded that question. Well, I'm curious about the lowest.
Yeah, exactly. So in a number 10, maybe like Maximum Overdrive, the theatrical. I don't know.
He already said you were wrong, so why the fuck would you guess it again, you dumbass?
That was my guess.
I'm gonna go, and I'm actually gonna look at what the lowest is, because now I'm curious. The lowest is actually the Night Flyer.
Fuck, dude, I didn't even...
Children of the Corn 2 did better than the Night Flyer.
So Night Flyer was in at number 10?
No, Night Flyer was in at number 40.
Oh, that's like all the way down there.
Yeah, because I looked it up because I felt dumb for asking you that question.
To be honest, man, I didn't even realize Night Flyer had a theatrical run.
Well, let me... Actually, you know what?
I would have never said that.
It was only in 95 theaters. so I guess
very limited, man.
If you're talking the lowest in terms of wide releases, we'll say 1,500 theaters or above, it's The Lawnmower Man 2.
Damn, that had a theatrical? Holy shit. It's crazy. I thought that was straight to VHS.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
All right, let's see here. So let's get into this top 10. So surprisingly, coming in at number 10, we have 1992's The Sleepwalkers. Really kind of weird, quirky, like, serious movie that turns completely comedic, like, in one weird scene of rape.
Look what you did to my shirt, bitch!
It's played straight serious, and then, like, after this rape attempt, it's, like, just gets super cheesy.
That's the scene, man. He gets the fork in the eye, and he's like, look what you did to my shirt, bitch.
I personally actually really like the Sleepwalkers. I do.
You know, when it first came out, I actually didn't like the film very much. I thought it was pretty corny, but it grew on me, though, man. I don't mind the film.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's a fun one. So that was number 10 with $30.5 million. Coming in at number 9, we have a film that I've never seen, but it has been released recently, also from 1992. This one is The Lawnmower Man. I tried watching it once, and I was like, "This is just I'm not watching this."
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that made $32 million. So if it can, oh man, how can that make the top 10? That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, people really went out and seen that. That's nuts.
I remember though, actually, when that one came out, and it seemed like they were really pushing that one. I think the promotion on that one was pretty good. So, they spent some money getting people in the theater on that one for sure.
Number 8, coming from 2003, is a film that I honestly like, but I just feel it gets completely derailed in the second half of the movie. Starts off so fun and creepy and cool. And that is Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, Dreamcatcher.
I like Dreamcatcher in the first half. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree, actually. I think Dreamcatcher was actually filmed in my hometown, to be honest.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of it, to be honest. It's been a while since I've seen it, though, but I do remember it being
Because it almost has like that Stand By Me feel where these buddies are out in a cabin, and then there's like this fucking this like worm creature that like goes up their ass or something that's like scary, and then it just gets like super like sci-fi.
Man, it's been so long since I've seen it, man. It's crazy.
That made almost 34 million, just under 34 million.
Interesting.
Then we have number 7, 1976's Carrie at 33.8 million, so almost 34 million as well. Carrie, probably one of the best Stephen King adaptations ever. It was the first one as well, and it definitely, I'm glad to see it on this list. I would have been disappointed if it wasn't. Number 6, Carrie, 2013 at 35.2 million, but
what the fuck?
I mean, that's actually bad, though. That's not great.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's because this 35 back in the 70s is good. 35 in 2013 is not. So then we break into the top 5. We have The Shining from 1980, making 44 million.
Yeah, I figured I was wrong on that one.
Coming in at number 4, we have one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. It's more of a thriller, starring Johnny Depp, and that is 2004's Secret Window.
Yeah, I saw that in the cinema. That was good.
48 million on that one. So breaking into the top 3, one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations, we have 1989's episode 102, Pet Semetery.
Yeah, that makes sense.
57 million. That's pretty damn good.
And coming in at number 2 is Pet Semetery 2.
No. Coming in at number 2 is 1990's Kathy Bates starring in Misery.
Yeah, Misery. Jesus, I totally forgot about Misery.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And number 1, a little surprising, not a bad movie. I actually like it. But it's definitely not the best Stephen King adaptation. And that is 2007's, which, by the way, is its 10-year anniversary this year. 1408.
Oh, yeah. Fucking 1408.
Which made almost 72 million. 71.9 million.
Wow.
What's that?
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, me too, man. That's crazy, dude. That one, wow, actually did pretty well.
The biggest dick in Hollywood, Mr. Cusack.
I always forget that he's in that.
He has the biggest rep for being the biggest douchebag ever.
Really?
He comes off a little douchey.
I thought that was Kevin James.
No. No.
Okay, so my question to you guys is 71.9 million is the record for a Stephen King adaptation. And it was only 10 years ago. So inflation wouldn't be that different now. Do you think that Stephen King's It will break this record?
I do. I actually do think it's going to.
Jeremy?
72.8. Is it going to make more than 73 million?
71.9.
71.9.
It's a lot.
R-rated. I'm going to say no.
All right. I'm going to say yeah. I got faith. So that is...
I think so too, man. I think it's going to do well.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially this year has been good for horror in terms of box office. Unless you're at night.
I'm kind of going on my own merit too here. Like I don't remember the last time I actually got excited about a remake. Like legitimately excited for it, you know?
I think mine was like Friday the 13th back in 2009. I think that was the one that I was most hyped for.
Yeah, I was curious on that one, but I don't remember being this excited. I don't know, for some reason I'm just excited to see it.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to remake it. Because
you weren't excited for Friday Night Moodz?
Which is better than the original.
I can't say I was excited for that remake at all. Actually, I was when they were remaking Friday Night, I was very opposed. I was very kind of more a little bit closed-minded. I was like, no, you can't fucking remake that shit now. It changed throughout the years. Now I accept it.
Yeah, I think we were all very bitter and angry like at that time about remakes because they were just overdone.
Well, Well, there was a few years in the mid-2000s, you gotta admit, though, where they were making some really bad ones, man. Like, you know, when Prom Night in the Fog and all those films came out in a row, and it's like, holy April Fool's Day. There was a lot of shit ones, man. So, puts a bad taste in your mouth. But I mean, Fright Night, you know, you guys all know the story. It's very dear to me. And I was like, I just didn't want to see another film updated. And then, of course, they cast McLovin, and I just about shit myself laughing. Like, fuck. You kidding me, man? And like, Colin Farrell to top it. I already hated Colin Farrell with a passion.
How? And Bruges is fucking so good.
He's been in some good films. I don't like Colin Farrell as a person. Like, I can't stand the dude. Like, I think he's a douchebag. And, you know, to be honest, some of his films, like, whatever, man. I think he's a little bit overrated. But in Bruges, I will admit, man, that's fucking... Well, and, you know, and I didn't know upon watching the Fright Night remake that he was actually a huge fan of the original one.
Aw, I feel bad now. You're a dickhead.
I didn't realize it. I just never thought of Colin Farrell as being a horror fan. Because he doesn't really do those type of things. But, I mean, I guess that's kind of cliche to say that just because you're not doing those type of genre films doesn't mean you're not a fan. But to find out that he was legitimately a big fan of the original film and he was honored, you know, to come and do this film. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But they still cast McLovin. Like, they can go. That was honestly some of the worst casting ever. Like that, I understand they wanted a quirky character and shit, but feeding off his popularity at the time, I mean, come on. He was terrible in the film. He was terrible in the film. He was awful. It was awful. But
in Bruges, man, I fucking
in
love
Bruges
that
is good. I will admit though, that movie is pretty. I own that movie too, man. It's fucking good shit.
Yeah,
real good. So.
All right. So yeah, that was the knowledge segment, just something cool.
All right, Jeremy, you're bringing a new segment to the show this week?
Sure.
Drop it on us.
This segment is going to be called Dead Mal. So, a few weeks ago, I picked up a stack of old Fangorias from Half Price Books. I came across like 70-something issues, mainly from the late 90s and early 2000s. And in every issue of Fangoria, there is a section in the beginning where people write in their opinion on the movie that is going to be featured in this issue. And this issue of Fangoria, which is number 188 from 1999, has a article about Blair Witch and is it a ripoff? And they talk about the last broadcast and stuff like that. So the fan mail in the beginning of this issue is mainly about Blair Witch. And there's some pretty interesting sides to what people thought about Blair Witch at the time. And that's what I found really interesting about these is that it's basically a history of horror, that what people thought about movies at a time that we see today as classics. So you know, back when this movie came out, people really didn't know that it was still going to have such an impact today. So it's interesting to read what people have to say about the movie. So let's just read some positive fan mail that people had about the Blair Witch and some negative ones about the Blair Witch. So this one comes from Jason Wallish. And he said...
I thought you were going to say Jason Lloyd.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
That would have been fucking gnarly.
I just saw a limited screening of the Blair Witch Project. I knew that the reviews had been 3.5 to 4 stars, and it was deemed scary as hell by Rolling Stone. All I can say is that scary is an incredible understatement, and out of 4 stars, I'd give it 5. Forget all about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Exorcist, Alien, and The Evil Dead. Blair Witch scared the living shit out of me. I was not prepared for what I experienced. The documentary on the Sci-Fi Channel and the website really don't give you an idea of what the film puts the audience through. I broke out in a cold sweat. I was shocked to the point where I actually began crying. This film contains highly disturbing content and imagery. I didn't want to sleep when I returned home, but inevitably a choppy and uncomfortable sleep I did have, accompanied by some pretty extreme nightmares. It is easily the scariest film ever made. Hollywood should be taking serious notes because with all the overproduced, over-budget garbage they produce each year for the masses, it's refreshing to know that someone actually has the balls to step up to the plate and deliver a well-put-together, brilliantly improvised descent into hell. It's all about the darkness, and believe me, there's plenty of it. Blair Witch is a film that won't soon leave your mind, and once it gets in, you just might wish it hadn't. Congratulations to everyone involved. So that comes from Jason Wallish.
Jason Wallish is the shit.
Huh.
I like that review.
All right,
that's how I felt.
Let's read some negative ones.
Cold sweats. Crying.
And this one comes from Jason Paul Collum from West Hollywood, California. Let's read 2 negative ones. Like most fans, starved for a truly terrifying experience, I counted the days to the LA opening of the Blair Witch Project. After an hour in line wrapped around 2 city blocks, I got into the second sold-out screening and have to say that while it doesn't live up to the hype, it's still unnerving. For performances that were generally improvised, the cast was phenomenal. I completely forgot I was watching actors and not just regular people. I appreciate the realistic lack of gore, and the eerie, breathless climax has to rank as one of the cinema's most chilling. My only complaint comes not with the movie, but with the publicity. As wonderful as it turned out, Blair Witch's technical aspects are not as unique and groundbreaking as critics seem to think. The handheld camcorder acting as a character of sorts, the documentary feel, been done 8 years ago. The Danny Bonaducci vehicle, America's Deadliest Home Video, used the exact same concept of video, though it never played theatrically. It received almost unanimously positive reviews in magazines from cult movies to premiere. Even Fango's Dr. Cyclops gave it a great review. Still, nobody remembers it. Admittedly, Blair Witch wins higher points for its acting and all-around true terror, but also accomplished much of the same as a significantly thinner budget. Okay.
That's his review?
Yep. That's interesting. He brought up the Deadliest Home Video thing, and he didn't bring up like The Last Broadcast or Man Bites Dog or Cannibal Holocaust, which is, by far.
Yeah, why did he pick that one out of all the other ones?
Well, it's funny that he didn't mention The Last Broadcast because a lot of people consider that one to be the kind of the starter besides Cannibal Holocaust, but Man Bites Dog was, even before that, and Deadliest Home Videos. That's crazy he brought that one up because that's really obscure.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the full point of what he was trying to say there. Like, I think he was just trying to say, like, they didn't do it first, but, like, it's really not a negative.
I think he was pissed off at the fact that it was being marketed as kind of like, I don't know if they were, using the term found footage and marketing like that or whatever.
Well, I mean, they were saying that they found their footage.
I think he's implying the fact that, just the marketing was kind of misleading because there was other films that have done this before, and it was being marketed as the very first one, which
I don't think they did market it as the first one, though. I don't think.
Well, maybe he just interpreted it like that. It's like, well, no, this film's been.
I think that it's like the hype around it is like everybody's saying like, "Yo, this is crazy! Like, I never seen anything like it." Blah blah. Like, but to me, I always use the argument like, I don't really care what came first in terms of like giving credit. Like, yeah, you give credit to something that came first, but like, I think it's completely different if you're using something didn't do it better or more big.
The only time I would have an argument for that is if they're saying, this is the very first film of its kind thing, and then you kind of go, well, The Last Broadcast came out last year, motherfucker. There's ones that precede this, and Cannibal Holocaust being the most famous one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I understand where he's kind of coming from. I think he was just a little bit confused, but
he just sounded to me, he sounded like one of those dudes that was like, one of those dudes who are just like, well, did you know that way back in, and just tell you like a bunch of shit when you're on talking about something, and it's like, okay, dude. Like,
I don't understand why people are so obsessed with like the marketing. Like, it almost affects their viewing in a sense. It's like the marketing on this film did this, that, blah, 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 persuaded me. It's kind of like It Comes at Night kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
People are bitching about the marketing on that too. The marketing is, I guess, relative to any generation here. People are probably complaining about it for years. I was misleading. Can you imagine the arguments in the 80s with all the covers on the VHS? That movie was nothing like that artwork. Fucking taking that $85 VHS back.
Yeah, well, this guy's review was positive. He just felt the need to point out that it's not the first one to do it, which is cool. It's cool because a lot of people didn't know that. So, go ahead.
All right, this is a negative one. This one's titled Witch Bitch, and it comes from George Harris from Los Angeles, California.
You, George Harris from Los Angeles, California, wherever you are today.
All right, so Witch Bitch. Let's get into this one. I know this one is negative because I read it before. So this one says, after months of anticipation, after much of anticipation and an hour and a half in line, I was handed my ticket to the Blair Witch Project. I stood with tons of people not knowing if we were going to be lucky enough to get in. This was the first LA screening.
Dedication.
Basically, I hadn't felt such excitement since I was 7 when I waited 4 hours to see this incredible film everyone was talking about, Star Wars. Unfortunately, I was very disappointed. I felt as if I was watching the Fangoria articles from the July and August issues. Nothing was shocking, nothing was generally scary, and in fact, the film felt just plain contrived.
Contra what?
Contrived. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Jeremy.
Hey, that's the first word I fucked up on.
You said,
it was also the biggest word you had to pronounce, too.
Ominously or something.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of unanimously.
I would love to see you do this shit.
I read the time, and I suck.
Don't get me wrong. I am a Don't get me wrong. I read Fango all the time. But in the end, your article on Blair ruined any feeling of surprise. I was watching and saying to myself, oh, here's where they're going to play the tape of babies crying. My feeling is this. Yes, this was a very original and possibly scary concept. Yes, there was a lot of hype about the release, which is always good for any independent feature. It's just that you overexposed the concept as well as the concept of the film to such an extent that I thought I was watching the movie for the second time.
Okay, so that dude's problem right there is not the film's fault. That's his fault. Because he took it upon himself to look too much into the movie.
This is why we don't watch trailers and shit anymore. We stay clear of all this type of information so it doesn't ruin you. Exactly. We're in control of... I mean, have some fucking control. Have some self-control, man.
Have some common sense. If you feel like you're knowing too much about the movie, take a step back.
Exactly.
Don't be an idiot.
It's totally avoidable.
I always hate that argument where it's like, oh, that movie sucked, dude. They showed everything in the trailer. I'm like...
Stop watching trailers.
Yeah, that doesn't mean the movie sucked. That just means you saw too much in the trailer.
All right, let me read this last one, and then we'll move on. This one comes from Bob Lucas, Ford's, New Jersey. I've been a faithful Fangoria fan since day one, and I really needed to write after viewing the Blair Witch Project. I mean, come on, guys. Are these filmmakers paying everyone off or what? They can surely afford to... Oh, that's just fucked up. They can surely afford to after only laying out $40,000 and ranking in $50 million after 1 week of full release. I will be the first to give credit where credit is due. There were a couple of generally creepy moments, and the improv acting was sometimes realistic and sometimes cheesy, but to mention this film in the same breath as The Exorcist, The Shining, and even Texas Chainsaw is a scarier thought than any scene in this amateurish 85-minute documentary in parentheses. I mean, I was sitting there thinking, okay, pile of rocks, stick figures, weird sounds, something's gonna happen soon. Then nothing. Literally zero. No payoff, no ending. I'm all for using one's imagination, but come on, folks, we have been fleeced. I'm not saying they had to show the murders blow by blow in full gory detail or even the Blair Witch in all her glory, but they could have shown us a little something. I mean, as well as just stand in my backyard and film pitch blackness and scream, oh my god, what the fuck is that? Viola, Blair Witch Part 2. I waited breathlessly for this film to play in my area, relived every second of the coming attractions, and even saw the film the second time to make sure I didn't nod off or miss anything the first time. My second viewing only confirmed what I felt originally, ripped off. And these two clowns are laughing all the way to the bank. Thank God for The Sixth Sense, a movie that deserves the attention Blair Witch is getting. Now that's an ending. The Sixth Sense is by far the creepier film and worth my ticket price, and to all the losers driving the poor residents of Burkittsville insane, get a life, it's only a movie, and a bad one at that.
Okay, first of all, I take offense to that negative review, because Blair Witch 2 is nothing like that and so much better.
Dude, I honestly, I hate when people say that like, oh, I can make then fucking do it, bro. Like, because I guarantee if you go out in your yard and you scream at the camera, fucking you're going to get 2 views on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I hate that analogy. I hate that comparison because it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
So this guy attacked their improv acting and stuff like that, and then he goes off to say that The Sixth Sense is the better film, and Billy Osmond, whatever the fuck his little shithead name is, looking at the goddamn camera throughout that masterpiece of a film. Yeah, real good acting, buddy. Fuck off.
I mean, like,
this guy's a dick. This guy's a fucking dick.
It's so like, these articles are like really, and it is a time capsule, Jeremy. That's really cool. Because the days of standing around a block waiting to get into to get a ticket is gone. Like that does not happen anymore.
Yeah, it's cool to hear that. You know, telling the story.
I almost
it's like,
wish I
remember
could
those
do that.
days?
I wish I could do that again. And the idea that this guy didn't like the movie and went and seen it again, that doesn't happen anymore either because tickets are expensive. He probably, you know, it was probably like $3 back then or something. You know what I mean? But
I remember one time, man, I was like waiting in the hugest line ever to get a ticket for Men in Black, and I just got back from Seattle, and I don't know what it was. I was still young. I don't know when Men in Black came in '97, so I was like 17 or something. And I just came back to my parents. My parents were like, oh, let's go see a movie. I'm like, okay, let's go to Men in Black. Fucking hugest lineup ever. And I remember standing in line, and you know, I've been sitting in the car for like 10 hours kind of thing, and I was super sweaty, and I remember having the itchiest balls ever. I remember scratching my balls to the point where they like it was raw. Like I was like trying to figure out ways to like plastic case and scratching my balls. I was in my pocket, and I was like, it was crazy standing there. All I remember is Men in Black and itchy balls.
That's so gross. Like I hope you didn't share a popcorn.
Yeah, dude, it was so bad.
I can just see Moodz with his bald head at 17, fucking standing in line wearing those fucking cargo shorts, his fucking scratching his ball.
My mom's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing, man.
Nothing, man. So I remember seeing Amityville, and I had the ticket for a while, but they fade real bad. And like I used to, they put even you can't save tickets anymore. They're just pieces of paper now. It's such bullshit. But I had an Amityville ticket, the remake, which came out in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my ticket price was $5.25.
$5.25, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, those days are long gone.
Yeah, it's like tripled since then.
Yeah. What do you pay for like a regular screening now? Like I think we're paying $11.50.
If I go to like luxury with like the like couches, pretty much like the lazy boys, you know, that go back and shit. I think it's like close to 15, but I saw the Dark Tower for I think like 12.
Wow, man, wow. It must be decently priced for you though, Jeremy. Well, you go to like the Red Box and shit though, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I never go to the Red Box.
Oh, where do you see film? Don't you see them like more expensive places?
What's the Red Box?
I don't know. What the fuck is the place I'm thinking
IMAX.
of? Oh, you see everything in IMAX?
No, but whatever I can see in IMAX. But what the fuck is Red Box?
I don't know. What's the place you go see all the
He's singing a Music Box.
The Music Box?
The Music Box. Did I say Red Box? Oh, I'm thinking Red Boxes, yeah.
That's all the indie place.
So what does it cost in there?
Oh, it's like $10 there, but like...
Well, that's pretty good, man.
I've seen Jeremy pay like $10.
I would expect the Music Box. Thinking
I pay for IMAX. I pay $22, and for regular screening, I pay $16.
Okay, so
a regular screening $16. That's a lot.
Nighttime. It's $10 for a matinee.
Dude, that's crazy. For matinee, it's $10. That's crazy.
What? That's ridiculous. They're usually like half price.
Oh man, it's self-cannibalizing, dude.
I support my industry, bro.
So do you have
it's not going to be there forever, dude.
I know.
It's cannibalizing itself.
Yeah.
I agree, man. I agree.
Dude, it cost us like $20 to get a popcorn and a drink
That's why you get the $1 cup from 2003, bro. You say that shit.
You're the only one in the world that still has one of those.
No, man, I see people all the fucking time. You forget I live in Jewy Jewville, so I see people with that shit all the time.
Didn't you buy some on eBay or something?
No, I bought it back in 2003, and I still have that.
Oh no, you showed me that somebody was selling those cups on eBay one time.
They never show up on eBay. The fuckers are rare.
Like they have ones now that are for a year. You know, you buy a bucket for a year. And I don't want to a year, man. I only go to the movies like well, now I go a lot more, but still, it's still only like half price. You're still paying like $4 for a drink.
Pay $20 for the bucket.
The cinema more, man. We just don't get the goddamn films, man. All we get is like.
Turns out I get a ton of stuff, and I was complete. There was a certain few areas that I didn't know about. Like we have a lot of, like the AMC one that I go to, dude. It has like a bar. It has like
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like legit. It has like 20.
They all have
over
bars now, dude.
Some
it's crazy.
Screens and shit like that.
It's
like a 40-minute drive though.
One I go to has a bar too.
Oh man, it's a miss living in Vancouver. You head out to Langley, go to the Colossus there. There's like 24 screens, and it's all stadium seating with like the big lazy boy type things. But I love that place because it was licensed. You could drink in there, and you could like eat a steak while you're watching a movie. It was fucking gnarly. Awesome.
That's like a $52 steak nowadays.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, so that was very interesting, Jeremy. I'm looking forward to seeing what else you come up with.
Yeah, I'll try and pull issues that go with the episodes. This was just the first one, and I thought...
Was that actually all of the reviews that were sent in?
No, there's more. I could read more if you want.
How about you just read one more? One more. It's actually pretty...
Do a negative.
Okay.
If you know.
Negative ones are good.
Okay, let's just read this one. After having made an hour-and-a-half trek to see the Blair Witch, I must say that it was both a great disappointment and an amazing triumph. First, I have to thank the filmmakers and artists in entertainment for giving us such an original and creative genre film. It was brilliant in concept and execution and superior to the teen idol garbage Hollywood has been throwing at us lately. However, it just didn't scare me. I don't know what went wrong. Maybe it was all the hype and my high expectations, or the fact that I saw it in a crowded theater, or simply the disorienting style in which it was filmed, but for some reason it just didn't click. I was really hoping it would join the ranks of The Exorcist and being one of the only movies to ever truly scare me. Sadly for me, though, the most frightening part of the evening was written by Kevin Williamson in one of the previews.
What?
Sadly for me, though, the most frightening part of the evening was written by Kevin Williamson in one of the previews. So I guess.
What could it have been?
I really don't think that
Halloween.
the term found footage was it even coined then, because people are kind of beating around the bush on the found footage. Like maybe it was the disorienting way that it was shot. He didn't specifically say found footage, because if you say found footage, we know exactly what the fuck you're talking about.
If you go to page 36 through 39, this issue of Fangoria has a huge spread on the last broadcast and the Blair Witch.
The last broadcast came first.
Yep.
That's cool, man, that they actually acknowledge that fact. Because
that's the difference between today and back then. Because back then, you would have to get a Fangoria to see stuff like that, right? Now you know, all this is on the internet. All the information is handed to us. But back then, it was that's why you got Fangoria, to know about something that, the last broadcast. Yep. That's cool, but different times for sure.
Different times, and it's cool looking at the ads in the back. There's one here for Cinema Wasteland, and
really,
yeah.
In '99, it must have been one of the first ones, though, right?
Cinema Wasteland, and what else is in here? Cutthroat Video, Rod and Cotton is in here.
Wow, they've been around now.
Cotton was back in '99.
Man, I've ordered from them.
Yeah, wow.
A lot of the shirts I wear from 90. Oh,
that's
crazy,
why
man.
all their shirts look old as shit.
Yeah. So it's
man. I'm wearing one right now. I bought this from Rotten Cotton. This Tenebrae shirt is from there.
All right.
Yeah, so it was just cool to buy them. I really want to try and get some more. I just love looking at them and going through them.
If I would have bought it, I would have bought all of them too.
Yeah, I paid 75 cents a piece for them. And I was happy. There's a DVD and laser spotlight. Yeah. And they talk about all the releases that came out.
Is that Brain Damage? I see Brain Damage.
Yeah, we got Brain Damage.
Let's do a retro DVD and releases from Moodz Swingz.
That was just DVD and laser. There was no VHS, because in '99 it was still going.
Yeah, it was still going for sure. That. I had fucking Devil's Rejects on VHS.
So we have Brain Damage. Tenderness of the Wolves, The Car, Requiem for a Vampire, Frankenstein, King Kong Remake, and United Artists Horror Classics Volume 2.
What was on that?
The Nathandral Man, Vampire, Curse of the Faceless Man, and Dr. Blood's Coffin. And that's on Laserdisc. That's crazy.
Do you have it?
No. Oh, look at this, JP.
Public domain films, I believe.
Puppet Master toys.
Puppet Master.
They're still doing those.
Look at fucking yeah, because Charlie Fan probably said they were
They're probably
limited.
the same ones. We found these in a warehouse, guys.
That's exactly what they are.
Charlie Fan said they were limited in 1999, and he said we found a whole box in a warehouse on the top.
Oh, man.
Never gets old.
I like that. That was a nice nostalgic trip. Let's get to Moods' current magazine talk.
Yeah, man. Okay, switching from Fangoria to Rue Morgue with weird stat and morbid fact of the episode here. This one is coming from, I'm reading again from the actual full book of morbid facts and weird stats. So this one's coming from, I don't know what section this is. Well, anyways, this one, I just grabbed it quickly, picked it because it's kind of relative to what I'm reviewing later. So Joe D'Amato's Anthropophagus was declared a snuff film by the Liverpool Trading Standards Authority 4 years after its initial release in 1980. A fucking snuff film? How many films are deemed snuff films? Like, for real?
Face
like,
of Death?
Like, snuff, like, that's ridiculous. I mean, if you've seen the film, man, like, what the fuck are these guys smoking?
I think I've seen parts of that movie. It doesn't look, the effects look
bad.
shit.
Like, as a fucking, like, to go those lengths to classify as a snuff film just seems ridiculous to me. It's fucking stupid, but yeah, though, the Joe D'Amato, that's kind of relative to what I'll be talking about later, so I thought I'd just throw that out there. That is going to conclude Moodz Swingz. Jeremy, that was a cool segment. Looking forward to that next week. Yeah, man. So hopefully you find some more of those Fangorias, man, you know?
Yeah, well, even like
you have enough to last for a while.
You have enough for a while, but, you know, some of them might be shitty, so, you know, I'm going to go on eBay, look at the schedule of what we have coming up, see if I can find stuff that
would be
goes...
cool. That would be cool to find ones that coincide with the...
What's the next show?
You know what, to be honest, man, you can find Fangorias, you know, except for some of the early ones, but you can find a lot of the Fangorias for relatively good prices, though,
pretty
man.
Cheap. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a specific one, I'm sure it's not too hard to find, but yeah, that's going to conclude Moodz Swingz. Now getting into the WWW portion of the show. Oh God,
can't you just say fucking what we watched? How hard is it? Jesus fucking Christ.
That was
getting into the WWW portion of the show, which is what we watched. Yeah, we're going round tree here. Rapid fire reviews. Jeremy, why don't you start us out?
My rapid fire review, you mean? My one review? No, I have one more. So for my Patreon review...
Oh, you're doing it already.
Yeah.
This is for August from Matt Naschy.
I was on top of this shit. I watched this movie this afternoon for some stupid-ass fucking reason. I should say fuck you, Matt, and add you to the Hall of Fuckers, but I understand why you're making...
You already did, didn't you?
And I just want to say, wait, before that statement, this movie... isn't that bad. Is it something that I really enjoy? You're going to tell
the listeners what the movie is? You do this all the time.
I know, but you never just let me talk and get into it. Crazy Murder from the year 2014. There you go. You happy, JP?
I am.
And fucking Moodz with his freaking CD that the guy signed the fucking plastic.
I can't stop looking at it. It's retarded. Who does that? Oh, shit.
Crazy Murder from the year 2014. So... I got the privilege of watching this movie, and from what I remember Moodz talking about this movie back in the day, is that this movie is pretty fucking nasty.
This could have been Are You Smarter Than a Canadian Asshole?
Nah. Because we already know he's an asshole.
But are you smarter than him?
And, you know, this movie is sort of scattish. You know, it's kind of a scat film.
Scattish.
Kind of.
I never heard a movie...
Yeah, no.
I never heard a movie described as kind of scattish.
Yeah, because it's kind of scattish. It's not completely scattish. Like
what is scattish?
It's not completely people eating shit the entire movie like Solo. It's just like people eat shit sometimes.
Sometimes.
Just sometimes. Like once every like 15 to 20 minutes, somebody either gets shit in the face or shits in their pants and eats it. So it's not like Solo where people are shitting into a bowl and they're all sitting around a dinner table having a massive feast.
I wonder how many people just bought this. I wonder how many people just bought this movie based on that little quick little synopsis.
I don't know why. So we basically follow a homeless guy as he goes around stabbing people and wandering the streets of New York City in a mental illness mindset. And that's basically it. There isn't any story. It's just scenes of him walking around New York, talking to himself, shitting his pants and eating it, throwing up after eating McDonald's hamburgers and eating the chunks of meat in his throw up. Stuff like that.
That scene is so bad.
Dude, eating condoms that he finds on the street full of semen and just stuff like that.
What's going on?
It's gross, but I feel like the filmmakers are kind of making a statement about us as society, because throughout the film it's totally shot guerrilla style, completely on the fly, no permits, nothing like that. I give the actor major fucking credits for having the kahunas to go out on the street and do
he does a good
stuff.
job in this.
He does really good. He goes out on the street and he does these things clearly with people, real life people walking by, and a lot of people just keep walking by him when he's doing this crazy shit. They don't stop and look at him and say anything. So I think the filmmakers are trying to say how us as society perceive homeless people who have mental illnesses. And I grew up in Chicago, so
I take it they didn't get those people to sign releases, huh?
No.
No.
So if anybody out there remembers a time where they've seen this crazy homeless guy, you could probably sue somebody right now.
Yeah, there's Bounty bags and McDonald's bags. There's logos everywhere. You could totally
that
they didn't get any releases for any of this stuff. But I feel like I said, the filmmakers are trying to make a statement about mental illness and how people who are all right, few people who are homeless and have mental illness, they just walk by them and things like that when they're doing probably crazy and insane things. And like I said, I grew up in Chicago, so there's a lot of homeless people. I always stop and talk to homeless people all the fucking time. The last shoot I was working on, we were working on the stage, and there was this caravan of homeless people that were living behind the stage, and they all had dogs. And one of them came up to me, and he said, "Oh, man, I'm not trying to buy booze or anything. I'm just trying to get some money for some dog food." So I went into fucking Target, and I bought him a huge-ass bag of dog food, and I brought it out them. So I know at least they weren't.
So you're not a complete dick, is what you're saying.
So I'm not a complete dick, and, I gave them the food that they were throwing out and shit like that. I talk to these people because these people are just people who are down in their luck, who've had, a shit time in their life, and they're still humans, We may see them as somebody different because they don't have the same privileges that we have with houses and things like that, but they still have stories, and they're still people. And, a lot of them are veterans, so I respect them for that. They serve our country and they come back, and they are just thrown to the side, and we forget about them. And I think this movie is trying to make a comment about that, how us as society should stop more and talk to these people and help these people, because this film, this guy is doing, like I said, eating shit and eating barf and condoms and Band-Aids with blood on it and all this gross and nasty stuff as people walk by him. So, like I said, the movie isn't really for me. I really don't like this kind of stuff. I never have. I don't really get the appeal of it. I don't understand why people get off by watching this kind of stuff. It's nasty. It's kind of stupid in my opinion. But I give props, once again, to the filmmakers for having the kahunas to go out there, make their film, not give a fuck what people think about them, that they were going to say what they were going to say, and for the actor for having the balls to go out there and do the shit that he does, because I sure as hell wouldn't have been able to have the balls to go out onto a New York street and do shit that he does. So, it's not a good movie. I mean, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for Matt having me fucking watch it, which I feel like this is going to be a recurring theme where I'm going to have to watch a boatload of fucking slaughter vomit dolls and shit like that.
Saying this is only opening yourself to.
Yeah, you're just.
Donate. I'll give it a fair shot.
My pick is actually Repo Man, so I'll get to that later this month.
Repo Man.
Curious on that one.
Do I have a pick?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah, you have Under the Skin.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Jeremy. Honestly, man, your thoughts on the film are very bang on to what I had said in my video too. I interpret it as, the whole shit scenes, him wiping his face and, the whole shit. It was literally society shit. This is what society does to homeless people. They kind of shit on them. a little bit, and they were showing that, like, later,
well, the way
they were
I
getting
think
to
of
the
it-
literal form of showing or making their point in the film. But it's interesting because you have to give these guys credit because the film almost seems like an experiment that actually worked to what they were telling in the subtext of the film is they were guerrilla shooting this film and people weren't paying attention, which proved the fucking point that society doesn't give a shit about homeless people. I mean, if you look at people's reactions, no one's even giving a shit.
Yeah. I perceived it is that the character clearly has some mental issues, and the way I saw the lens is that what's happening, what we're seeing as a viewer, is actually happening into his mind. This is what he thinks of society. This is what he wants to do to society. He wants to stab him in the jugular with knives. He is tired of people shitting on them and things like that. So I just think that this is all his imagination of what he thinks about society and what he wants to do to society. It wasn't actually happening, because anybody who goes around stabbing people in the neck in broad daylight and nothing actually happens to him, I don't really believe that.
But that's going to the point where people aren't paying attention to these homeless. I mean, I understand that's probably super extreme and stuff, but I thought it was too simple to just say that it was all in his mind and this is what he thinks of society and blah, blah, blah. Like, I was kind of taking it on a different angle that, these things actually were happening. And, and it's proving the point that people don't pay attention to fucking homeless people or whatever's going on with these people that are on the streets, because as society, people are fucking assholes as a whole. People don't give a shit. And they're not going to, the average person, Jeremy, is not going to sit there and talk to homeless people and buy them dog food and buy them shit and stuff. People don't take the time to do that shit, especially in big cities like New York. It doesn't fucking happen. So them filming the way they did, guerrilla style, proved the fucking point. When people aren't paying attention to even shit like that, that's crazy, dude. That's fucking mind-blowing. Point proven. I thought the film was done nasty. If you see my video, I literally puked in a bucket for 20 minutes before the video started.
I remember that intro.
Dude, I think the movie, it proved its point in an extreme way, but it also it got me really thinking about it, and I was like, damn, dude, they did a great job with it. You don't see things like that very often.
Brain damage.
It was brain damage.
Was this the one that Steve was telling us about?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I would, I don't know.
You're not gonna like it.
It's a hard watch. It's a hard watch because, oh man, dude. I mean, there's one thing to see people like shit on the face and eat shit. It's the puking. When he pukes up that McDonald's and then eats it again, I literally had to fucking look. I don't look away from shit very often, but I was like, oh my god, like I almost lost to get a little flush. I was like, that's disgusting, dude.
He was going to open up that condom that he found and fucking squeeze it out in his mouth.
Oh, I know.
Like, I literally thought he was going to do that, but he just put it in his pocket.
I've had some gross conversations on the show so far. Scratching my balls.
What did you rate that, Jeremy? I didn't hear it.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
It's not a good movie. I wouldn't watch it again. But I give him credit. I mean, I give him 4 points for having a message.
I can't believe you give it that low, man. I mean, honestly, if you took out all the excessive scat in the disgustingness, like, would you have brought up the rating, or is that effective?
Well, according to him, that's pretty much all it is.
It is all it is.
So you'd have like a 10-minute.
Well, movie. I mean, the dude is mentally disturbed, and I mean, last time I checked, that's what all mentally disturbed people do: is they shit in their hands and wipe it on their face.
I don't know about that.
Totally joking.
And when he fucking knocked that dude out and then he fucking pulled on his pants and shat out his face, I was dying laughing at that.
Dude, I honestly really enjoyed it, man. I thought the movie was fantastic. But
you didn't review this on the show, Moodz?
No, I did a video for it, so that was
not.
But I understand how this is a tough watch for people, man. The visuals are nasty, really, really fucking nasty. There's not a lot of dialogue in this one, is there?
No, there isn't.
From what I remember,
he just says like "fuck you" every once in a while.
Yeah, there's just it's almost like a silent film except for his rants on people. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's one that could totally get a lot of mixed reviews. I remember watching I think it was Mr. Parker's review after, and he's like, I don't even know what the fuck to say about this shit, man. But it was interesting because his review was very similar to mine too, actually, and he was talking about how the subtext is there, and he pretty much said the same thing. I think it's about this, and I was like, wow, that's exactly what I said. It's pretty cool. But so it's a tough one.
I'd be curious for you to watch it, JP. It's on Prime. You can watch it for free.
What? That's on Prime?
Yeah, that's on
Wasn't Prime just like in the news like a couple months ago for removing explicit?
Well, it can't get more explicit than this.
Even with a title like Crazy Murder. it would get removed.
That's on there.
It doesn't have cannibal in the title. Weren't they removing titles with cannibal? So.
All right.
Well, yeah.
Cool. I guess I will go next. Man, I honestly don't know what to review. I don't. I have some stuff here.
Got too many?
I don't have too many, because like some of them I forgot that I talked about, and then some of them I wanted to talk about on a different show. Ice Sharks? No, let's not do Ice Sharks. I mean, the thing is, like, okay, last night I'll let you guys decide. So last night I seen The Mist and The Dark Tower in a double feature. So I can talk about The Mist, or I can talk about Ice Sharks.
Ice Sharks.
Ice Sharks.
Alright. So Ice Sharks, because a little backstory on this, Sci-Fi is doing their, like, crazy Sharknado week, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna record every movie. I have like 30, 40 movies, all like these Sci-Fi original sharks. Some of them are like, there's a few like Crocs.
So many.
They pushed in a few Croc movies in there too, like so all the Lake Placids, like Lake Placid 1 through 4, plus Lake Placid versus Anaconda, which is the dumbest title ever. But Ice Sharks happened to be the first one that was on, so that's the one I watched first. And I don't know when I'll get to some of these, but it was actually funny because like I left the TV on when I was getting ready for work the other morning, and Jersey Shore Shark Attack was on, and I was actually laughing. It was actually funny.
Dude, that movie is so funny, actually.
Yeah, so like I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch this one next. But I actually recorded a lot of these in case we ever decided to do like a shitty shark show or just a shark
please,
show in general.
no.
I figured I would have some of them on the
DVR.
DVR.
Do it now.
But I'm kind of just curious to go through some of them too, because like, I don't know. Like I said, I used to watch this type of stuff when I was a kid. So basically, it follows a group of, I guess, like scientists or something, research team, that finds a new breed of aggressive sharks that cracks from the ocean floor, probably due to some kind of global warming. And they're in an Arctic research station, and they're basically the research. It makes no fucking sense. They have this CGI'd research station on a CGI'd plane of ice that's like floating on the lake, and then these sharks are attacking these people, and I kid you not, dude, like the sharks pop up through the ice, and then their fins are the only thing above the ice, and then they're underwater. And they're circling the research station, and it's cutting the ice. So first of all, you have to assume that this giant, massive metal construction is sitting on top of an ice float that is only a couple feet thick of ice because the shark's fin can reach through it. Like, and they cut a big circle in this thing, and the research station falls into the Arctic depths of the water. But they're still alive in there, and the water hasn't seeped in yet, so they're like, have time to do things. It's so ridiculous, dude. These sharks look really bad too, like really bad. There's scenes where, like, dude, they don't even try in this one. I'm not even joking. Like, they but what's funny is all the actors are, like, not hamming it up, and they're playing it semi-seriously, which I like to see. I like when they do that. But yeah, so these people were, like, there's a scene where they're, like, trying to get on the or the snowmobiles so they can get away, and, like, he gets stuck. And, like, they keep cutting to the shot. Like, it's just, the cuts are ridiculous because it's, like, one cut is to pure CGI. Like, the ice is CGI, the sharks are CGI, the research center is CGI, and it's just, it's a completely, the whole scene is computer generated, not a regular scene with computer generated stuff in it. It's, the whole shot is CGI, and then it cuts back to the guy on the snowmobile in, like, real life. And it's just so ridiculous. And then it cuts to this CGI'd snowmobile, and it's like, oh boy. These movies are not, like, dude, they're so bad in terms of, like, quality, and they are entertaining if you're in that mood. Like, I mean, I didn't love it or anything, but I was like, I would roll my eyes a lot and be like, you know, like, that's kind of funny or whatever, but Not anything like super amazing or anything like that. I come in at a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10?
Dude, that's fucking hilarious. I want to see it.
So that is another explanation of how I could enjoy something and like it, yet still recognize it's a big piece of shit.
Yeah, it seems to be a big topic of conversation all the time with
me.
Rating things high and leaving them off lists, or liking something and rating it low. Now you just started a whole new battle.
Oh man.
Totally did, man. You totally did. All right, man. First film up here. 1974 is one of Scream Factory's latest releases, and it's called The Bat People. Yeah, this is one I'd actually never seen before, man. I'd only heard about this one. Never seen it before. Pretty basic storyline. It's basically about a doctor that kind of specializes in studying bats and stuff. And he's on vacation with his wife up at the ski hill and stuff. And they decide to go on this tour where he ultimately falls into this cave, of course, inhabited by bats, right? So what happens to him? He gets bit by a bat. Then he slowly starts to transform into a bat person. And so that's pretty much what the film is. It kind of follows his character and his progression and transforming into a bat and stuff. And and of course, all these crazy things are happening, and the police are after him, and blah blah blah. So my thoughts on The Bat People. Well, first off, man, I have to give it up to Scream Factory for making a super. Well, I think it's actually the original cover art, but the original cover art for The Bat People is crazy misleading. It shows on the cover like a whole pile of people that are transformed into bats and stuff. That generally is not what happens into this film. The Bat People, again, even the title's misleading. But I will say, man, it's actually kind of entertaining. It's one of those films where, you know, it could be kind of judged as being, you know, a silly film based on the premise. But the funny thing is, it's played straightforward. Absolutely straightforward. All the performances are like super serious and everything kind of comes off like that. The problem is with the film though is like it's one of those ultra predictable type films where you pretty much know exactly it's very formatic in itself, and you know exactly where it's going to go and stuff. But you know, the ride until you get to the third act is okay and stuff, but it's just completely outrageous and ridiculous. But there are some pretty funny moments in this film, but overall, man, there's not really a whole lot to say about this one. It's pretty entertaining for what it is. I will say, actually, Stan Winston did the makeup effects on the bat person, I guess our doctor here that turns into a bat, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Or he was a supervisor or whatever, and it's, you know, it's a very early film that Stan Winston worked on. If you're familiar with him, he's worked on, well, probably some of your favorite films and did effects on some of your favorite films. But yeah, so that was kind of interesting to find that out in the credits and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty run of the mill. I'm looking at the IMDb page right now. It has a 2.2 out of 10 on here. That's insanely low for this film. It's actually not that bad. I got to say, the performances are pretty good. It plays itself pretty straightforward, which I like in this type of film, man. It's pretty cool. It's, like I said, misleading, but it's okay. I give this one about a 6 out of 10. It's pretty fun for what it is. But I will say, the Scream Factory transfer on the Blu-ray, fucking phenomenal. Looks so good. Honestly, man, the transfer is like amazing on this one. Special feature does come with a Mystery Science 3000 episode, which is also very cool. So I'm glad to see that they're bringing back the episodes on there, because they did the episode. Oh, what release was that Scream Factory did?
It was the Screaming Brain or whatever. What was the Crawling Eye. What was it?
No, not the Crawling Eye. The man with the severed. No, the woman. What the fuck?
The one with the head in the fucking.
Yeah, that one. Anyways,
the man with the screaming brain.
Was it that?
It is the man with the screaming brain. Yeah. Okay. Jesus Christ. Anyways, that release had a Mystery Science 3000 episode, which is pretty cool. So, but you know, honestly, pretty fun film. Not overly insanely good or anything, but it's worth it for the feature and the fucking transfer, man. Big ups to Scream Factory on that one. So, The Bat People from 1974. Give it a shot. It's okay. Rated PG.
What'd you rate it?
6 out of 10.
Did they say Bat People? Bat People?
No, they really don't. And you know, it's kind of It's one of those honestly, I don't care. You just want to see more of the fucking like even when he when he transforms. And it's funny. I was watching this with my kid, and he's like, "Is the rest of his body going to transform into a bat?" He says to me, and I'm like, "I don't know, man. I'm not sure because it's like a face kind of thing, right?" It's pretty funny, but yeah, the bat. It's okay. It's okay. Fun watch.
Cool.
Jeremy.
Sure. So I saw this one a little while back, but I never talked about it, and now that it got released on Tuesday, more people have been talking about it. Me and Moodz talked a little bit about it before the show started, and I don't think I was on the show yet when I saw this film, but it is one that I want to talk to you guys about.
Isn't a segment?
No, are we doing segments and all?
Yeah, I thought it was 1 and 1.
Okay, I didn't know if that's what you guys wanted to do.
That's what you wanted to do.
Show you, motherfucker. Jesus.
All right. Well, I'm just going to review this movie as my segment. Anyway, it is Phoenix Forgotten from the year 2017. Now, this movie, like I said, came out on Tuesday, and it is, it's a found footage film that it seems like people are half and half on. A lot of people appreciate it and like it, and some people really hate it. I think it's the same sense in the critics' world as too. Some people liked it and some people absolutely destroyed it. And my opinion on this one is that I enjoyed it for what it is. It's not going to be a film like Grave Encounters or The Tunnel or Atrocious or some of the better found footage films. But as a mainstream attempt on a found footage film, it's actually not too bad. And the film did really, really bad. I mean, it did worse than It Comes at Night, which is not that good as it is, because It Comes at Night did pretty shitty, which is unfortunate. But the film follows Sophie. Sophie is a grown-up who is documenting the missing story of her brother who disappeared after one night he got on camera what is known as the Phoenix Lights, which were these bunch of bright lights in the sky that appeared and then zoomed away, and it was a loud sonic boom and all that. And Josh became obsessed with these northern lights, or these, Phoenix Lights, and he became friends with a up-and-coming reporter and a guy who was the camera guy. And they decide to go out and find where these Phoenix Lights are coming to, and the found footage section is basically their journey from the beginning of their day to the end of the day, and as they go out to the military base and all the normal stuff that we see in alien found footage films. But the interesting about this movie is that the found footage section takes place in 1996, so it is a 4:3 aspect ratio throughout the entire film. Very interesting. It has that 1996 VHS type feel to it. Very original for a mainstream film. It's very interesting to see that kind of style in a movie that got a 2,500 plus theatrical release. It feels like something that more filmmakers would have risked on a straight to DVD type of a sense. And the story isn't really that original. We've seen it before, Area 51, which is a pretty not that good found footage film. But the fact that this one tries to do something different by setting it in the early 90s, it has that 90s feel, and it kept my interest. The ending is, it's what you would expect from a low-budget mainstream found footage film. But as a found footage film, this one is actually higher up on the list of movies that I think you guys should check out. It's not going to, blow your balls open or anything like that, but I think it's one that you should give a shot. I'd be curious to hear Moodz and JP's opinion on it. I would assume JP is probably going to be a little kinder on it like I am than Moodz. I just have a feeling Moodz is probably going to go in there and just stick its thumb right up its ass. But if you can get behind the problems, I think you probably have an okay time with it. So I give Phoenix Forgotten a 6 out of 10.
Nice. Now, you said the film was taking place in 96?
Yeah.
And at one point in the review said, in the early 90s?
Okay.
I think 96 is a little more on the latter part of the 90s.
Fuck off. You know what I meant. Mid-90s.
Okay. I was kind of curious about that one, honestly. I like found footage. I just watched Man Versus last week. I didn't end up talking about it on the show, but I like that one. That one was pretty cool. It's on Netflix and stuff. You just have to know what you're getting into with that one. Because it's probably, if you don't know anything, you might think that it's lame what they end up doing, but I don't know. So yeah, let's get into mine. I don't have a segment this week either. I'm just gonna go with The Dark Tower because I seen it last night and it's new, so I figure it's good to review new things. The Dark Tower from 2017. So I had heard a lot of really bad things about it going into it, and it's about, honestly, like it's about what I expected. That the reviews were probably way too harsh because they normally are with these mainstream movies. And they were. It's definitely more fantasy than horror for sure, which I knew that going in because I know that the books themselves aren't horror books, per se. They're more fantasy. And, so I expected that. It basically follows a kid in New York City who, has dreams and visions. And he has dreams of this place that is not like America or Earth or something, and it looks to be like a long time ago or a long time forward in the future maybe, but it is basically kind of another world. It's like another universe, kind of, or not really another universe. It's kind of like just another world, I guess, in the universe.
I'm fucking lost. I'm trying to.
It's not confusing at all.
Yeah.
It's basically, well, what they set it up nicely at the beginning of the movie. They basically say the Dark Tower is in the center of the universe. It's the exact. So
it's like
center.
the sauna.
I don't know. So the Dark Tower prevents.
I forgot about that.
Prevents bad things from destroying the universe. So as long as the tower stands, the universe is kept in balance. Kind of like Star Wars-ish. I was getting a vibe for Star Wars. The force, the balance between good and evil and stuff like that. It's kind of similar, And basically there are threats to the Dark Tower all the time throughout history. Now Earth is somewhere, not in the center, but somewhere on the outside, and there's another place that's also on the outside, another place. It's the entire universe, right? And they set up kind of an interesting mythology here, and I don't know what's in the book. I've never read the books. I have no idea. But what's beyond the universe, like outside of the universe, if the Dark Tower ever is knocked down, then what's on the outside of the universe can come inside, and it's bad. So basically this kid is having visions of this Dark Tower, and he's having visions of this black dude who's like a cowboy. And this dude lives in another part of the universe, and he's the gunslinger. He's like a protector of the Dark Tower. Kind of like a Jedi. And like, you know what I mean? So like, I'm telling you, like, this is kind of like Star Wars, which why
he's fancy security, man.
But he shoots guns and stuff, and you get a little, so the kid is having visions of this. Turns out that there are people on Earth that are like, it's very They Live like, where he can see them, but nobody else can. And they are like bad people who work with Matthew McConaughey, who's an evil sorcerer trying to destroy the Dark Tower.
Of course he is.
And he sees them, he takes off, he gets through a portal basically that takes him to the gunslinger's part of the universe, and he befriends him like a la like the Terminator or something, because like he then brings him to Earth and in New York. So it has a lot of those like cool moments where he's like, what is this? And he's like, it's a hot dog, and he's like, you people are sick. What kind of breed is it? You know what I mean? Like, just cheesy stuff like that. He doesn't know what certain things are. But on his original, in his part of the universe, they have like theme parks and stuff, but he doesn't know what they are because this place has been desolated for so long that you see like remnants of like theme parks like you would like a mountain or something. And he doesn't know what it is because history has forgotten it, but the kid knows what it is. So I actually kind of liked some of that stuff going into it. To me, the worst part of this movie, I like the mythology. I like the good, evil, like, almost like Star Wars Jedi type mythology. I like the mythology behind this gunslinger who's from this place, and he has these moments where he like, it's literally like Star Wars where he uses like Jedi mind tricks almost, where he almost like slows down time and he like thinks, and then he shoots, and the bullet goes like all like really far away and ends up killing the thing. Like I thought that scene was pretty cool. The gunslinger's very likable. The kid's not bad, but Matthew McConaughey is atrocious. Which I've never had an issue with Matthew McConaughey at all. He just plays this villain so basic. Like, he is not menacing. Only he has an accent, but he's supposed to be this huge threat to the world, like a Darth Vader to the universe. And he's just like so lame, and he's like it's cringy, and he just doesn't have a menacing presence to him. And honestly, that is the biggest problem with this movie. It hurts the film bad, because it's just like, you can't take this villain seriously. He has a cool thing where he has magic where he just walks past somebody and he says, "Stop breathing," and they fall to the ground and die. Like, cause like, so he has this cool power, but he's just so lame that like, he's not threatening. And they talk a lot about like, basically this kid, his power, why he's seeing this, is he has the shine. So that's kind of cool, because it's like shine. It's like this, what the kid in The Shining had. So it like kind of ties itself into the King universe a bit, and the gunslinger has the shine too, and there's a few references. Like, I seen that one of the portals was like 1408 and stuff. There's a few references to other King stuff. I don't really see what people's major issue. Like, people are saying this movie's so bad. It's just kind of, the villain's lame. It was entertaining to me. Carly didn't like it. But it's cause it's fantasy. I like fantasy movies. Like, I like, Star Wars. I like, Neverending Story, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, this mythology and these like worlds and universes and bad and evil and stuff. It's kind of cool. I don't have nothing to compare it to, obviously, so I don't know if much of this is lifted from the book, or it's pure own thing with like slight references and pulled from the book a little bit. And I will say this, the ending, the whole end part of the film feels very much like The Mummy, just cheap and just basic. So that took off points too. I do think this is better than The Mummy, which I kind of compare these movies because they're both big movies, both have big star, like they're more stylized and action oriented, I guess. But I think this one's a little better because I really dug the mythology. But I'm gonna come in at probably a 7 on this one. It's not amazing. It's okay. It's a good watch. Matthew McConaughey is the worst part, but I like the gunslinger and the kid's relationship, and the gunslinger was fucking damn cool. There's funny moments in it too, which I actually laughed at a few things. It's not over. It's only 90 minutes, so it's not overly long or anything. So I feel confident with a 7 out of 10. People just, I never understood the like way that certain reviewers in the mainstream review things, where like, I feel like they've never seen a bad movie before. Like, they're not watching Ice Sharks for sure. You know what I mean? So like, some of the reviews just confuse me, I guess, cause I watch all types of movies and things like that. So, it's definitely not bad. It's definitely not bad. Maybe if you compare it to the novel, it's bad. I don't know. But it's just Matthew McConaughey sucks. That's what's so bad about it. But the rest of it's pretty fun. So yeah, Dark Tower.
So just for shits and giggles, man, what did Carly give it?
She gave it a 6 out of 10. She doesn't like fantasy at all.
Oh, so she was literally just a point behind you, like you were saying.
Yeah, you said like she hated it.
I said she didn't like it, but she rates like me though too, where she kind of takes the film on like how good it is and doesn't really factor in like how much she what if she likes that type of movie that much. So she didn't like it at all. Like, she wouldn't go watch that ever again, or well, I wouldn't either, but I'm saying like, she didn't like it, but she thinks that it was, decent enough made. She hated Matthew McConaughey too. She was the one that was rolling her eyes and saying he was cringy. I don't think she got a lot of the, like, she didn't get in like with the mythology like I did, like I that was my favorite part, was just like the story, like the universe and the Dark Tower. I want to see more about the Dark Tower, because they don't really say much about it. But
yeah,
that's cool.
Interesting.
I didn't have a bad time with it at all, honestly. Like, I enjoyed my time watching it.
Yeah, man, I've been hearing nothing but predominantly bad reviews. I was surprised, actually, to hear you come in so high on it, too, but that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Probably not going to watch it.
Honestly, like, it's weird. I know Watson kind of does this, but, like, 5 to me is, like, in terms of pure technical ability, like, a 5 is average. But to me, in terms of enjoyment, a 6.5 to a 7 is average to me. Like, because that's mostly what I watch when I think of it's an average movie. Most of what I watch is like 7s, not 5s. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm kind of saying it's an average movie, but it's above average in quality.
All right. Cool. All right, get into my Italian Stallion of the Week from the year of 19...
segment. Last week you didn't, and this week you do.
No, I actually had this from last week. I just didn't review it because I wasn't paying attention. But 1979, we got Joe D'Amato, Beyond the Darkness. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, man. This one right here just got released by 88 Films, and I'm reviewing the 88 Films Blu-ray. I don't have the Severin one yet because
coming soon.
Yeah. Honestly, Joe D'Amato is mostly known for, I would say, directing more sleazy type films. I mean, he's directed some zombie, almost pretty much porno films, Erotic Nights of the Living Dead and Porno Holocaust, but he's done some really good.
Did he do the third Elsa film?
No, that was Franco, I think.
Was it? Damn.
Yeah. I mean, D'Amato's most famous film is probably Anthropophagus, just because of the video nasties and stuff. But I've seen a lot of D'Amato's work. I mean, he did a lot of crime work, crime action and stuff in the early 70s, but he's touched in all sorts of different genres. This film right here is probably his masterpiece, like his best film in the horror realm. I haven't, it's been a while since I've watched Beyond the Darkness, and revisiting this film, I was just like, man, dude, that really does do what it's supposed to do. It's a great exploitation type film. Basically the storyline is, we follow our main character, Frank. Frank is he's like a taxidermist, and he unfortunately loses his wife. She passes away and stuff, and he, now he's trying to deal with the loss of his wife because he was kind of unexpected. And, he's just really struggling with it, having a really hard time. He lives in this huge mansion. He's just like the heir to like this massive fortune and stuff. He's a really kind of rich dude and stuff. He's got a maid, which he ultimately has this very strange relationship with too. She's a very strange one herself. So now he's grief-stricken. He's trying to really deal with the death of his wife. And, so he decides one day that he is going to exhume her body, basically dig her up and stuff her, do what he does for a living to his wife. When he realizes that's not really, fully exactly what he wants to do, like he's got her stuffed in this room and stuff, he starts to bring in these women to find a replacement for her. And, some of those women don't end up leaving the house, and he continues this very strange relationship with his maid. And of course, there's a police investigation, and that's the story of the film. My thoughts on this one. This is one of those type of films where D'Amato sets the stage for. It almost makes you feel gritty and dirty while you watch this film. It has such a nasty feel to it. I think the casting was absolutely perfect in this film, which really helped out how this one kind of plays itself out. Kieran Cadry, who plays Frank, he does such a great job as a taxidermist. He's just cast perfect. He looks the part of being this grief-stricken kind of husband, and it's just great, man. And also, the girl that plays the maid, I can't remember what her name is, but she is just nasty looking. Like, she looks like a fucking man kind of deal and stuff, and they have this really strange relationship, but she's cast perfect as this evil kind of bitch and stuff. But yeah, man, this is a really nasty, dirty film. It deals with a lot of subject matter. It deals, with necrophilia, of course, murder, and just lust and lots of jealousy, and just lots of things that are going on in this film. It's really crazy. The cool thing about this film, it's a very visual film.
Hey, Moodz. JP's a fucker. He's totally in fucking La La Land.
No, of course. I'm not. I'm listening.
But yeah, so the cool thing about this film is it's a very visual film. I love the way D'Amato sets up this film. He does a lot of really great cinematography, lots of really challenging shots that really kind of challenge the viewer to get into this film. And I think it works just brilliantly. He doesn't have a lot of dialogue, which is interesting. It's one of those films, there's not a lot of, there's towards the end and stuff, but there's not really a whole lot of dialogue in this one, which I love that about this one. You don't see that in a lot of these type of films. Generally, there's just a big investigation, a lot of, things going on, but you just don't have that in this one. It's very visual and stuff. Yeah, man, this one's straight in your face. It kind of sucks you in right from the beginning, and you can't get away from the characters, and you're just like wondering what the hell is going to happen next. It's got some nasty ass gore in this one too. I love it. I love when you get introduced to this relationship between Frank and his maid, which I believe is her name's Iris. And man, there's one scene in this film which I won't ruin it, but when you see it happen, you're going to be like, "What the fuck?" It's literally one of those "what the fuck" moments. You're like, "What? Seriously, that just happened?" It's so fucking strange. But ultimately, there's some pretty cool scenes of them disposing bodies, and the gore gets pretty nasty in this one and shit like that. But all around, an amazing film. The score is done by Goblin. The soundtrack is so memorable in this film. It drives it so much, like all their scores do in all the films that they do the soundtracks for. But yeah, man, this one overall is such a gritty and grimy. I love it that it makes me feel so fucking gross when I'm watching the film. I love it. I think it's one of the best ones out there. I give this one 8.5. Check out Beyond the Darkness. It's fantastic. There's a documentary. I'm not sure if it's on the 7 release. Jeremy, have you watched this yet?
No.
Anyways, there's a documentary on the 88 Films one, which is 90 minutes. I have yet to get to it, but I got to check it out because it's like obviously on Joe D'Amato and stuff. But check out Beyond the Darkness if you've never seen it before, man. It's a really, really it's almost in a level disturbing because of what it deals with and stuff, right? Also known as View Omega. A lot of people know as that title as the, original Italian title, but, yeah, highly recommend Beyond the Darkness. I absolutely love this film, man. I hadn't seen it in years, and upon rewatching it, I was like, fuck, man. What a wicked film. JP, you gotta check it out. Jeremy, you gotta fucking do a review of it too.
Yeah, I'll watch it for next show.
Yeah, it's good shit, man. Really, really fucking gritty, grimy shit. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was what we watched.
All right, so getting into the featured reviews this week. And this week is kind of special because we have a bonus feature review, which is coming straight from our Patreon, courtesy of Marco. And, yeah, man, I just want to say thank you for supporting and picking this film. And, of course...
not really thank you for picking this film. Because it's fucking...
But thank you for supporting the show, and we will review anything that is picked by a supporter, including
Mississippi. Here we come.
I think those are a little bit of spoilers on their views on this film, but yeah, man, that's right. You guys can pick
a little fairness. First of all, mystery solved. This is not Marco the movie fan. Just happens to be from Finland and named Marco, which must be a common name. But basically, the reason he picked this is because he is from Finland, and according to him, there's not many horror movies from Finland. Lake Bodom is what he says is the best horror film from Finland.
Well, I can see why.
And I like Lake Bodom's good. I love Lake Bodom. But Sauna, I think he was just more curious to see what we thought of it. I don't know if he even likes it. But set up the plot.
I have a feeling, I do have a feeling anyways, the film in question here is from 2008 and it's called Sauna. Oddly enough, man, it's kind of weird that this one, it's a Finnish film, but it actually deals with Swedes and Russians in this film. It's kind of odd. Actually, at first I was confused. I was like, they're not Finnish?
What about second, third, and fourth?
No, of course. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of confusing points to this film, but I just thought it was interesting with Swedes and Russians. But anyways, quick little breakdown here. As a 25-year-old war between Russia and Sweden concludes, two brothers who are part of an effort to outline new border accords become undone by their actions and their mistreatment of a young woman during their journey.
Okay, so the first thing I want to say, I was watching this, and I swear to God, dude, I started so I had a hard time finding this. I thought he said that it was on Shudder. It is on Shudder, but only Canadian Shudder, which barely ever happens, where you get something that I don't. So I had a hard time finding it. Jeremy owns it on DVD, oddly enough. I think he said it was at midnight. I didn't even know it was an IFC. This had to be a quiet released one, huh?
early release. It's just an IFC.
Yeah, it's
2004 midnight even. Okay.
Yeah,
it's an older one.
So I had a hard time watching this. Finally found a version courtesy of Jeremy. And I was laying there at night, and I'm watching it, and I swear to Christ, dude, I was watching it, and I'm like, they'll start talking, and they'll be like saying these things, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to follow, and then I'm like, okay, so this guy, what, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in this movie?
Period pieces.
Like, I love period pieces, but
yeah.
Every 10 minutes, I was like trying to follow the story, and I would be like, okay, so this guy, and then I would just snap out of it, and I'd be like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, I'm either too high or this shit doesn't make sense. And like, I seriously had a really hard time following the movie, and I was like, I'm dumb as fuck. Like, I was like, I can't wait to talk to the guys. I can't wait to talk to the guys to hear if I was dumb as fuck, because that would be a revelation to me. Or this movie is confusing. And so I messaged Jeremy this morning and Moodz, and I was like, anybody else get confused by Sauna? And Jeremy was like, what'd you say?
I was like, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck was going on either.
So I think, honestly, man, I think the premise of the film is a little bit easier. I think it's just the execution is very slow, and it's, it's a tired
what period is it? I couldn't even track that.
1500s.
It was taking place in like the 1500s. Yeah.
Okay, and the throwing in Russia and Sweden, and it's a Finnish film. Like I didn't understand.
Just leave out the Finnish part.
But completely. I didn't understand But I don't know that. I didn't know that it's like Finnish is. But they're from Finland, aren't they?
This is kind of the problem with reviewing a film like this, where we don't necessarily know the history of.
That was my big thing. I was like, what the fuck kind of. I was like, is this like an actual war, or is this made up for the movie? Like,
I'm pretty sure that this could have been something real and stuff, but that's a problem that we have as North American reviewers on a film like this. We don't necessarily know the history between Sweden and the Russian War and stuff like that, and also we don't necessarily know the Christian religion beliefs of the Finnish and the Swedish or wherever it's coming from.
Yeah, this shit had me questioning everything, because I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, well, I know it kind of feels like a civil war, but they don't have guns. And I'm like, when was guns invented? So I start Googling, when was guns invented? And then I was like, oh, but that doesn't mean anything. When was guns invented in Finland? You know what I mean? Like, I'm starting questioning my entire life, man. This fucking movie had me fucked. And then I'm Googling shit, so I gotta pause the movie because it's in subtitles. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this movie's so hard to watch for me.
I watched it last night when I got home from work. I was trying not to fall asleep.
I think the general premise. I mean, we get introduced to our characters right away in the film. Two brothers and stuff. We got Eric and Newt, and Eric he's that type of guy that he really kind of almost gets off on hurting innocent people.
Yeah.
He's even to the point where he actually keeps a tally. And it really kind of showcases a character, of the times and stuff. He literally has a count. He's at like 73.
Like that because they're like, and then he's like 74. You know what I mean?
So Eric is kind of like he's the bastard child, really. And Newt is more of the level-headed person that kind of keeps Eric in. Newt is, he's the fuck. It's actually Newt.
It's Nut.
Whatever. But anyways, he's the level-headed one.
I definitely didn't bust the nut watching this movie.
So what happens here is, they're going through the motions. The Swedes have teamed up with the Russians, and now they need to make a map. The war has ended. They need to map out the area so they can go on with, life, kind of thing.
How long it took me to understand that that's what they were doing?
Oh, really? I didn't understand that.
So anyways, in their journeys, they have this confrontation. The two brothers have this confrontation with this old man and his daughter. And one thing leads to another where Eric ends up killing this older man. And they ultimately make this odd decision of locking in this daughter into this basement. Newt makes the conscious decision of doing it to save her from Eric, but they don't go back to let her out. So ultimately, we assume that she kind of dies down there. And so anyways, they continue along with their journeys and stuff, and they come to this very strange area that's not really on the map. It's like the swamp area and stuff. And right away, they notice something that's very odd about this area is that not only it's not on the original map, is that there is a sauna in the middle of this swamp, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And they know right away, and as a viewer, you know that something is wrong with this. Like, this is just not right.
Well, they're being like ghost lead the whole journey too.
Lead.
Exactly. And basically what this film is, this is kind of the point where it takes shape, and it kind of gives you the idea that this film is dealing with, like guilt and morals and immorality and stuff like that. And this is kind of the show. That event happens with this girl, and everything just kind of happens. And it's almost like a supernatural, there's supernatural elements to the film too, but it's almost like without that event of what happened to the old man's daughter, who knows if this sauna incident would have happened anyways. It's almost like that happened, and then they walk into this world where now we need to cleanse your sins. From what I've gathered from minor research, just kind of watching the film today, is that sauna in Finnish, or maybe Swedish, Christian religion, is a place where you could physically go and clean yourself and also cleanse your sins. It was a place you literally go into, and that's what it would do for you. So hence this and stuff. And
they even mentioned that like the Buddhists, that town was once Buddhists.
I'm actually a little bit lost on that too, because they do mention that, because of course the brothers and the, all the people that are making the map, they asked the people of this little weird kind of colony. They're like, well, where did you guys come from? And then they finally admit that they got there, and the monks had left the religion, they're just kind of left and stuff. And it's not really fully explained why. And that was a little bit confusing for myself, because I'm like, okay, this is obviously dealing with some heavy religion stuff, but why did the monks leave and these guys came in, and where did they come from? Not a lot of that is really explained. It's kind of odd, actually. So that's where the film really kind of takes a detour for myself. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm getting this premise and stuff, and I understand they're dealing with this guilt, and these guys are probably going to be cleansed in one way or another kind of thing, but who exactly are these fucking people? And maybe I missed the point of, they do explain the fact that there was one child born here and no children after that. And I was kind of trying to put pieces together, and then I started doing a little more research, and I found kind of a quote unquote from the director, and it said, talking about the film, because this one actually premiered in Toronto in 2008, and the director was there in Toronto, which I'm actually going to tomorrow, which I'm super excited. And anyways, they did a Q&A after the screening, and this is a quote that he says. He said, if you have to go too far along in life without facing those who hurt you, then eventually it's too late to make amends. Then eventually, if you try to face your victims, they'll be faceless. And then he went on to say, he kind of went on to say that, he did say that some things are open to interpretation in the film too. And I'm assuming that has to do with some of the more religious things that are in there, because religion is, at a time where it's left for interpretation sometimes with some of the, especially for us in North America, man, it's hard to understand other religions. It's hard to understand the religion around here. But so I think that's kind of what he was getting at with that. But I understand the basic premises. We're dealing with, guilt and morals and things like that. And that's kind of what it is. And, I have to say though, man, this film, absolutely fucking beautiful. JP, doesn't this film remind you?
That's the one thing that I was going to say about my positives.
It's a good looking movie.
It has great mood and atmosphere. And I love period pieces, and I love this foggy, marshy area that they're at and stuff. So yeah, I 100% was digging that. And it's interesting because I've never, what was he going to say?
What did it remind you of, JP? Another film that me and you reviewed, it was a Spanish war film that we reviewed. It wasn't very good, but for the aesthetic, the aesthetic in that film instantly reminded me of the second in this film. It was so beautiful.
Well, you should watch,
well shot, very ominous.
Scorsese's new movie then.
Yeah, this film is super ominous. It's very subtle and slow and haunting and shit like that. And I didn't find with the whole ghost kind of aspect, supernatural, if it was really happening or not, to be overly done and stuff. I didn't find it to be jump scary or anything. I actually kind of enjoyed that. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck was that kind of thing? But they do touch on it in the film. They're like, dude, you're seeing shit. You're seeing shit. But it's his mind. He kind of is. He's fucking he's stricken with guilt. He's fucking guilty because they just possibly killed this girl and they don't really know what happened to her.
I was a little confused. So they took this girl from
her father and they put her in this basement and they left her and then they burned the house down.
Why? Why were they there at the father?
Because they found the picture of Jesus hidden.
something to do with some kind
and
of.
that pissed them off.
They're not allowed to do that.
It was kind of funny because I was thinking about, that, and remember when he said to him, he's like, well, you fucking fed us food that I wouldn't even eat with my ass or whatever.
You know what's weird? And I wanted to comment on this. I've never had a situation in which I was watching a period piece. Okay, so it being in North America, me, you, Jeremy, we understand.
I'm in North America.
Yeah, me, you, and Jeremy, right?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I thought you said me and Jeremy.
No, we understand old-timey American and Canadian English, right? Like when you watch something that's like Civil War era or earlier or any era, there's a way that they say things. Like take a film like The Witch, for example, right? There's a way that they say things that is different from today's time. Well, not only is this film from another time period, but it's from another time period in a place that we're unfamiliar with, and it's translated. So if they're talking old-timey in Finland or Sweden or Russia or wherever the fuck it is, their dialect is going to be different from our old-time English. So not only is it removed from like that, me knowing that, but it's also another language that's translated into English. So it adds a whole nother level of like different different shit, you know what I mean? That comes across like hard to understand. Like I felt like the dialogue was like it was very dialogue heavy for one, and I found that like the subtitles on my version seemed maybe a little off. Like they would talk and then the subtitle would show up, and like it
might have been your version because actually I didn't have a problem with the subtitles. They were matching up quite well on Shudder.
Yeah.
So
okay, so but not just that though, but it's another language translated into English, but it's not Finnish, it's Old Finnish or old whatever. I don't even know.
Well, I would assume maybe they did that. I mean, it's hard to say, right? It's a lower budget film. Who knows if they were? It might be like modern. We would never know.
It's so not us. I mean, someone from Finland would know, or whatever language they're speaking.
Finnish.
So I found that extremely hard to like wrap my head around, I guess is what it is, because I love period pieces, but even those films, I struggle with the dialogue sometimes. Like you kind of context clues, like figure out what they're saying and stuff when it's a little out there and off, just judging by what other words they use before and after. But it's weird. I was overthinking it too. I think like where I was like it was really tripping me out, like trying to figure out like what if it was like current language that is translated to English or like it. You know?
I think I watched this film properly. Like I watched it on my computer, obviously. Well, I could have hooked it up to my TV, but I had the headphones on and I literally just sat in front of it, like my head like a foot away from the screen and just paid attention to everything. Like it was dialogue heavy, but it was very, very simple dialogue to understand and follow. It's more about exactly what,
But they're talking about things that they're not telling you what it is. Like they're talking about this war, but I'm like, okay, so like the war's over. Like who was the war between? Like, and I didn't read the synopsis. Now I know it's between Russia and Sweden. And I'm like, who are you guys? Were you guys soldiers or like, what are you guys?
Well, even the Russian leader there, or the guy that was appointed by the king or whatever, he was wearing the Russian hat and stuff too, right? So did you guys? Okay, there's one aspect of this film that was very strange to me, and it's kind of like this underlining almost gay relationship between Newt and the dude that killed the general.
I first noticed that. Wait, was it him and him?
Yeah, because remember he stabs him and he's like, I'm going to have a relationship with Newt or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck? I was catching on to that throughout the film.
Yeah, some of that stuff was getting lost. I thought it was like lost in translation or something. Like I was just like confused with certain things.
I didn't realize it was going to material to the point where, because the Russian leader was totally against that, there was a point where he does say something on the fact of, I think even Eric even says something about, the whole, they don't use the word gay or anything, I don't know. But
they do actually use the word gay.
Do
Not
they?
For that, but they say gay. They say gay.
In they do. Yeah, they do in a totally different context. But you're getting the context, and it kind of materializes to this point where there's this really odd scene where this dude actually kills this general, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then he's talking about having this relationship with Newt, and I was like, okay, and it doesn't really materialize. nuts. And
oh my god, who gives a shit?
It's just like, holy shit, man, that was fucking crazy, man. Like,
what did you? Where are you at on this one, Jeremy?
It's a beautiful movie to look at, but besides
it's a
that,
spooky
like,
too at times.
I guess
I
so.
was super engaged in this one, man.
The way I took it, it's like I just think that they're living with the guilt of what they did to this woman or this girl by leaving her in this basement. But
it's not just that though. It's a whole build up to that. Was kind of like the straw.
Did they say why they left her in the basement?
Yeah, no. Newt does. He was actually protecting her from Eric, and then remember Newt.
Yeah, I know that, but that doesn't
even
mean...
says why the fuck. He goes, why the fuck? Well, at that point, because he was killing the father.
Because
and then
he found a
and then
picture
he says
of Jesus. That's why.
And he says an odd thing. He's like, why didn't you let her out? He actually blames Eric for leaving her down there.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Why didn't they let her out?
Maybe because they were afraid she was going to turn him in or something, which is bullshit. But
yeah.
It's like weird. A weird setup. Like they don't really show. Like I feel like that's one of the problems is they don't show those scenes like play out. Like it's like they're referencing it and stuff. But
that's where you kind of have to catch it in the dialogue too. I think there was a few things said in the film that I was like, that didn't show that. Kind of thing. Like
I know.
You know,
like even when it's not even told chronologically. Like don't they take the girl in a flashback scene? That doesn't happen right at the beginning of the movie, right?
I think it's somewhere along their journey. It's in that part. I don't
like certain things bug me. Like I don't know. Like okay, did they were living somewhere, took a girl, kept her in a house. They were living in this house, locked her in the basement, and then left their house, or like. They stopped at a house along the way. Like I don't.
They stopped at the house on the way because basically that's what they were doing. You know, doing the mapping.
So whose house was it? Did they lock her in her own house basement?
Yes.
Yeah, it was her and her father, and then they found the picture of Jesus, and they decided to kill him because I guess you're not allowed to have. I don't know the backstory of the religion there, but because they found that picture. They killed the father. They burned down the house, right? And then they threw her in the basement.
While the house was burning?
Yeah.
I thought they just left her in a fucking house basement somewhere.
Well, I think that's why whenever Nut sees her, she's all like burnt and fucked up.
I thought she was still alive while they were on this journey.
No, I think that.
Like that she was still in a basement somewhere.
That's why Newt was having those scenes of like almost like Asian scenes where he was seeing like this dead body, and then Eric was giving him shit. He's like, "Man, you're fucking seeing shit." He's like, "No, I saw the girl. Right?
Yeah,
and
like in my head, how I was picturing it was like they didn't know if she was dead yet or had like died from thirst or like she was just still in the basement, and that uncertainty. I think that would have played out better than knowing she died. Honestly, I think if they left her in a basement somewhere.
I think it was a mental thing. They just didn't want to fight. Well, that was the thing they did. I don't remember. Am I missing the burning? Didn't they burn down a different house?
That's what I thought. They burned down a different house.
It was
and
that
locked
house.
Her in their house.
Because I know Newt gives Eric shit for because he locked her in there, and then he's like, "Well, why the fuck didn't you let her out after?"
How would she be? How would he be protecting her from him if it was like they wouldn't? She wouldn't be with them, right?
No. I don't know. It's actually, but I mean that whole scene is. I mean the way that scene materializes is that they're on this journey doing the shit. But the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, where the hell are the Russians? Because they're like in this house eating this dude's food and then not making fun, but they're giving him shit for how bad his food was and all that shit goes down with the Jesus and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, where the fuck are the Russians? The whole time, because everyone was together the whole film. Like they were appointed together. They had to do this together because they had to sign off on shit, right? So, yeah, it's a little. The film's a little bit disoriented in a little bit. You know, there is
clunky.
It's definitely a little bit clunky, man. But I will admit, like the aesthetic of the film is beautiful, and I have to say, man, even though this film is in a different language. Eric did a great fucking job in this film, man. His performance was so good.
I had no issues with the acting.
So good. Like, honestly, man, I wish I could just... I feel like I can always judge people's acting better if they're speaking my native language. You know, you guys ever get that when you're watching foreign films? It's hard to tell if they're saying the words properly. Because, you know, in American films, like, sometimes they say some shit wrong, and you're like, what the? That's coming off fucking.
Like they're gonna phone in. Like what the fuck?
Like they're
are they
gonna
talking
phone.
about?
Yeah, man. Nobody knows who the fuck's gonna phone in. That's retarded. But yeah, man. Like this movie had me intrigued throughout the whole film. I will say the ending of the film is probably what the director was talking about, open for interpretation. Because holy shit, dude. What? Like, it's one of those moments where you go, I don't know, man. I really don't.
Like this whole movie?
I don't know. I think I got most of it. The ending to me felt like it wasn't complete. What the fuck? Talking to your boss again, Jeremy?
Uh-huh.
Are you watching like pro wrestling or some shit?
Yeah, pro wrestling. Oh, yeah.
Pro wrestling, yeah. I don't know, man.
UFC boy.
All right, let's jump into this goddamn rating. How about that?
Jeremy, what do you rate this one?
Okay, Jeremy, you go first.
Why do I go first? I went first on fucking...
Okay, I'll go first. Listen, this movie is beautiful to look at. It has great cinematography, music, a great look to it, but if it was, just style, that would be fine, but there's so much like dialogue and stuff. I just feel like I don't know 100% if it was because it was foreign, if it was because it was a period piece, if it was because it was this or that, or if it just is not told well. And I honestly feel like it's not told well. Like, I feel like that the story is clunky and a little too up for interpretation a little bit. I do like the basic idea of like, okay, they left this girl, they don't know if she's alive or dead, in my head anyway, and then they're on this journey to do this thing and they're being haunted by the feeling of regret or like guilt that they're having. Like, I love that, but I just feel like it's just a messy movie to me. And I'm just going to come at a barely passable rating, which is a 5.5 out of 10.
Jeremy.
6 out of 10.
No, say why.
Just gives the rating.
All right, no, like I said, I give this one a 6 out of 10. I feel like JP said, it's aesthetically pleasing, the entire movie, especially when they're going through that swamp. It has that mysterious, atmosphere to it when the sauna first appears, and it's just that white building, and there's a lot of mist and shit coming out from underneath it. It's really, really nice to look at. The story, like I said, it's confusing to me, in my opinion. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to it as well as I should have, but if I was like Moodz and fucking looking at it like 8 feet from the screen, maybe I would have fucking things together.
No, because I was really close to my TV too.
And you didn't get it?
No. I explained what I got, man.
I mean, at least I understand it better than Observance, but it's like...
That one was easy.
Nah, man. That movie fucking is stupid. But if you're... like you said, I think you should watch Scorsese's new flick, JP. I think you dig it if you like this film, but...
like pretty much all of Scorsese's flicks, I'm sure I will.
It's different, though. It's not your typical Scorsese flick. It's very similar to this with its religious imagery and cinematography. It's a very different kind of Scorsese movie, so... I think based on what you were saying on this with how you like the cinematography and stuff like that, then I think you would probably dig this movie. But like Moodz said, the acting is really, really great. I was thinking the same thing. Nut does a good job. and Eric does a good job too. So I'd come in at a 6 out of 10 with this one.
Yeah, man. Style over substance? I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't think it is, because I think it's trying to have a lot of substance.
But that's the thing, and I think I'm getting a lot of the substance out of it. I mean, stylistically, man, this movie is really beautiful, man. It's very. I love these type of like very doom and gloom feel type films right from the beginning. Like and it never breaks that character at all. In the feel, the atmosphere is just amazing. This film, acting's outstanding. I thought the set. Well, not the sets, but just the location. What?
You cut out a little bit there. You said the location.
You froze.
Oh, did I cut out? Fuck. But yeah, the costumes too, man. But which I don't really know exactly what they look like back in those days, but I'm sure it was something like that. I don't know. But for the most part, I do like what the director was trying to get at with here, with the guilt and the morals and things like that. And I just think that the very end of the film is so confusing, and not knowing a lot about Christianity in these countries and what exactly, you know, their rules and regulations and shit are. It's tough to interpret, and I think that's probably the biggest problem that you guys were having. Which, you know, I didn't have the biggest problem with it. I thought I got the gist of most of this, and I thought it was really, really well executed. One thing I did like about the film, they didn't try to overstay the welcome of the film. It was quite short, man. It was 82 minutes. I felt like it kind of got to what it needed to be. And even though there is some very interesting developments in the film, the whole monks thing and stuff, I was really wanting to know more about the people and the babies and things. I don't know if I'm missing that whole thing, but I was very intrigued by that whole kind of setup, but I just wanted to know more about it because I think it really would have kind of brought out the meaning of the film a little bit more. So that one kind of hurt a little bit because I was expecting it to come out in the end, but it really didn't. So, but you know, with that said, man, I still really enjoyed this film. I'm going to give it about a 6.5 out of 10. You know, it was enjoyable for what it was, but I think it's definitely not a one-time. I don't even know if a second watch would even fully help, to be honest, but I did my best trying to get this one. And Marco, if you've seen the film, let us know your thoughts on what our thoughts are. But thanks for recommending this because it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I'm definitely not upset that I watched it. Like, I got an enjoyment out of it. Like, I went to sleep feeling like a cool atmosphere and stuff like that. What did you rate it?
6.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
5.5, 6, 6.5.
Yeah. So, thank you. If anybody else wants to have their film talked about in a featured review style review where all three of us watch it, you know, I hope we did it justice. You know, I feel like we broke it down pretty well in about a little under a half hour. So, you know, get it our Patreon and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get into.
Let's do this, man. We're going to get into the actual featured reviews of this episode, which is going to be an OG versus remake. If you guys have not read the title of this, we're going to take it all the way back to 1983 with a film called The House on Sorority Row.
How did you watch this movie, guys?
I watched the 25th anniversary edition from some indie label.
How was the transfer?
It was, as it said on the back, a brand new high definition transfer. It definitely wasn't that. I don't know what kind of smoke they were blowing out of their ass, but it was all right. It wasn't horrible.
I watched the 2-disc Scorpion release. The transfer, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
looks awesome.
I watched the Cinema Epics version, which is a Blu-ray from Australia, region free. Whoo, boy, I thought the transfer looked great.
Awesome.
Great. So, if you're curious, I'm sure that Scorpion's out of print now.
It is. Yep.
I picked this up on Amazon US on Prime. You know, got it in 2 days for like $17 or something like that. I definitely recommend grabbing that if you like this movie.
Yeah, Scorpion dropped the Blu-ray of it years ago and it went out of print, but I never upgraded. I was like, man, the DVD looks fine, but if you can find it, man,
you watched the DVD version too? So I'm the only one watching in HD?
Yeah.
Oh, hell, boys, you gotta get up on that HD kick.
I could have upgraded.
Blu-ray's out of print too, dude.
Huh?
That's what I'm saying.
The Blu-ray Scorpion's out of print too.
Oh yeah,
I figured. I just said that, man. I said the fucking Blu-ray was not out of print for a long time, but he's got the Australian release.
I know. I know that.
There's Australian release, you know, comes in a nice thick
sand
case.
still in my vagina.
Box.
People haven't fucking donated enough to the Patreon to get the sand sucked out of my vagina. All right, fuck off.
All right, so let's get into this bad boy here.
Yes, this is Mark Rosman's debut film, actually.
What has he done?
What is Mark Rosman? He actually did a film I think you're familiar with from '95, which is called Evolver.
Yeah, I like Evolver. That's definitely not this, but it's Evolver's the shit.
Yeah, House of Sorority Row, man, was actually originally shot in 1981. It was actually wrapped in 1981. They did a couple fill-in shots after and stuff, but it didn't get actually released until 83. But right in the heyday of slashers, so 1981. But yeah, 1983. After a seemingly innocent prank goes horribly wrong, a group of sorority sisters are stalked and murdered one by one in their sorority house while throwing a party to celebrate their graduation.
I was surprised by this movie, man. I went into it thinking that it would have been a straight-up sleaze fest, cheesy slasher film from
Probably
the early
partially
1980s.
because of the cover too.
Well, you know
but
what,
not
man?
even that. But even like the back has like a girl with her shirt open, but there's only one pair of titties in the entire movie, and the rest of it is like a straight-up
and I
fucking
believe
horror movie.
that chick that actually shows her tits in this film she was like on soap operas for like ever. She's like still doing shit. She's like a really big name in like Young and the Red, all those type of shows. But yeah, actually Mark Rosman even said one time he fucking hates the American artwork for this film because it makes it look sleazy. He wanted a totally different artwork. He wanted like, I can't remember, something to do with someone hanging. I don't know.
I like the artwork a lot. I just didn't expect, and you know, obviously I'm kind of revealing my feelings towards this film a little bit, but I didn't expect this level of quality is what I'm saying. Like, I expected that it would be like a fun 80s slasher, something along the lines of like Sleepaway Camp or Slumber Party Massacre or something like that, and possibly even lower like Sorority Party Massacre, whatever that one is I reviewed. Which is way worse. But this is a top shelf slasher here that we're dealing with.
Man, I talked about this one so many times in videos and stuff. I've always said that this one right here is surprisingly underrated.
Well-made. Yeah, it's so well made. Like
it
I say
is,
it's
dude.
underrated, man.
The
because
first
this
thing
one,
I noticed, editing. The editing is great in this movie.
Dude,
not even that. There's like some awesome shots too. Like there's some awesome shots of like the camera tracking down the hallway from ending at the up the stairs and it tracks forward towards the door at the end of the hallway. Mm-hmm. Like it's fucking great. There's some and when they're downstairs in the basement and she's fucking flashing the light and the pans back, it's fucking great. There's some good shit.
Dude, I 100% agree, man. I literally had like first couple things written down, man. The editing's amazing in this film and its cinematography's awesome. Yeah. You just don't see that shit in these like kind of lower budget films.
Score.
Yep.
Yeah, man. The score is really good, done by
according to Jeremy, Charlie Band's brother.
Charlie Band. No,
Charlie Band's brother.
Yeah,
Charlie Band's dad.
It's his father, Richard Band, right?
Yeah.
No, Richard Band is his brother. Albert Band's their dad.
You motherfucker.
Are you serious?
Fuck you, suck my dick.
Albert Band is the father of Charles and.
Look at this fucking idiot. I was right.
Get out of here. Hold on.
Look who's retarded now, you fucker.
So basically, in this film here, man, we get like a little bit of a backstory, which is actually kind of an interesting scene too.
You're right. Holy shit. I'm the dumb one.
They showcase this backstory of our sorority mother, Miss Slater, who becomes a sorority mother. She's giving birth, and it's taking place like 20 years prior. And something kind of goes wrong, and we're not really 100% sure exactly what goes wrong in the scene. But basically, she's giving birth, and kind of shows the doctor shaking his head, and then it just kind of cuts to the present day. It's an interesting scene too, because I was reading actually about that. That scene was actually shot in black and white. Upon distribution, the distributors, they actually tinted it a little bit blue, which he was kind of pissed about that too.
Honestly, dude, I have very few complaints with this film, but I don't like that scene. I wish they wouldn't include it in the movie. Because I feel like it lets you know what's going on right away. Like I feel like it's too on the nose.
Yeah, and it's kind of like my problem I have with a lot of films showcasing the end of the films and the beginning of the film. It's the same thing, and that's one of my minor complaints of this film too. And I've said this about a lot of slasher films from the early 80s. Mm-hmm. They do this. They set it up with this minor backstory, which they figure is not going to really give anything away. But the whole time you're thinking, well, I think I know what's going on, right? Like if you don't have that, it's a totally different mystery. And it's fine not to have that scene either. It doesn't have to be there.
You can even put it in after the reveal. I don't give a damn.
Not even that. It's like
in a flashback.
You knew who the killer was going to be and like what was going on, and
yeah, I feel like that scene is so unnecessary that it's too on the nose. You you do not need it. You don't need it.
Maybe some people took it as she gives birth to a stillborn or something.
Because, I think that's the intention. That she's upset about her thing, but I mean, and we're gonna stay pretty decent away from spoilers on this. But if you watch this movie and you actually thought that that she's the one killing people, then you might be right or wrong.
Well, yeah. Which actually leads us into the whole premise of the film. Basically, this is one of those classic type prank gone wrong films.
Love prank.
And what
I
mean by
prank gone wrong is so classic setup for a slasher.
It is, man. It's really, really classic. And if you want to do a prank gone wrong type film, you do it like this. It's actually pretty well done.
Except one major issue. Maybe you guys could clear it up because this is actually affecting points here. How the fuck did they pull off this shooting the gun thing?
That's never explained. I know. I wish they had went into it.
What's that, Jeremy?
It's a clip. It's not a barrel, right? They have a clip.
Yeah.
So they couldn't put a bullet in each barrel.
Yeah, like you couldn't put one in here and then not one in here to make it. Yeah. So like, and even if it was a revolver, that's some crazy.
Well, would they put a blank? Would they put a blank in it?
But
how did they blow up the light though?
They shoot the light. Now blanks do fire projectiles out of them, but it has to be close to like blow up a light or something.
Well, wouldn't it just be like one real bullet, one blank bullet, one real bullet, one blank bullet, one real bullet, one blank bullet?
Okay, if they did that, they need to show it loading the clip like that, because if not, it's a huge mistake, because that's just sloppy right there to not show that. And how did so she shoots the one girl, but it didn't shoot her. Then she actually shoots,
which is actually a problem. It's a problem in itself too, because that she didn't really get shot, but then she's playing it off like they even show blood and stuff like that too. It's like I wish they had shown them kind of setting that you're going to do this, because at first you're like, holy fuck, man.
Well, it's essential to not being a cop out. You almost have to show how they set it up in order for it to not be a cop out.
Yeah, because the girl's right after the scene, like she's totally fine. You're like, oh, she didn't get shot, but. Fucking Miss Slater gets shot?
But the woman did?
Yeah, so I understand.
But even if you say, well, she didn't get shot, either maybe caused a heart attack or a drowning or something like that, because you technically don't see blood or a bullet wound on her, at least I didn't.
No, they don't have it there.
But then it still doesn't explain how they shot out the light. So it's still fucked up.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm pretty sure when they shoot into the pool, that scene is the one major blemish on this movie, because it's such an integral part to the story.
It is the integral part. That's the main point.
And I didn't focus on it too much, because I was like, oh, maybe I just missed something or something. And I was already so into it that I just wanted to ignore it. But I knew that it was going to come up when I'm critiquing the film. And it's a major issue.
I've always had an issue with that whole scene too, man. I'm like,
doesn't it feel so out of place considering how good the rest of the movie is before and after?
Oh, it really does.
It just feels like an out of like his brother John Rossman came in and directed that scene or wrote that scene or something, and it just fucked everything up.
You guys notice anything with the sorority mother, Miss Slater? Her fucking whole voice is dubbed in the film.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I didn't.
It's
really bad when she's talking to the doctor at the beginning. Like, you could totally see it's dubbed.
So I looked into it, because I'd noticed before, I never looked into it, but apparently she had the right look for the part, but her voice sucked. So they just got her to perform. Yeah, they got her to perform her scenes, and then they dubbed it over with a better voice. She did
have a good look, and the voice was good. I like the voice.
So it was two people.
Yeah, I'm actually not going to take points for that, because I thought it was a good choice there.
That cane.
I like the cane.
Which makes an appearance in the remake, if you guys noticed.
Yeah, I did. Yep. The biggest thing that I think that this movie, besides the score and besides the lighting and music and visuals and just cool script besides that one scene, is the goddamn suspense. this is a suspenseful movie. It really is. Like, you're constantly worried about that body out there, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it actually works. Like, it works. Like, the girls are trying. And you know what? One thing that I really liked is the scene after they do it. They're like, okay, we got to deal with the body later, but we got to go have this party right now. And like, I expected in my head, knowing 80s slashers, I expected it to cut to the party and everybody having a blast. But it cuts to the party and everybody's kind of just, the camera goes and looks at everybody and it's like just a blank sort of look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that band, man. That band is fucking awesome.
Oh, dude,
it goes up there
so
with,
80s.
It goes up there with the Howling 2 band. Like, that shit's awesome.
Oh, dude, it's so good, man. The lead singer, that mullet, man, was, that was on a different level. It's good shit. You get points for that right there.
Who fucking snowballs in college? Like, Jesus Christ, what are they, 8?
But yeah, I mean, like, another thing that I really liked about this movie was I actually really liked the protagonist. She's set up classically where she's the one that doesn't want to do it, and she's the one that's like,
She had. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say if she had better teeth, she'd be stunning. She's a good-looking broad.
No, but I like that. I like that about this protagonist, man. They didn't go with like the super hot final girl type thing, and they kind of used more of, I wouldn't say average looking. She's better than average looking, but she just fits the part perfectly, man. She's not that blonde bombshell. She's that brunette, maybe. She's above average looking.
Like Girl Next Door looking.
Yeah, man. I think that really does work for it. Mm-hmm. I think that's a better casting choice. It's more believable in my opinion.
Just need some braces is all.
Just use some braces, yeah.
So you have this awesome setup, and you have the besides the actual execution of the setup, but like what happened? They killed this person, and then they have to kind of go through the night, and then you spend different, like, I like when they, like, all the different things that they're doing, like trying to get rid of the bot. Like, to me, that stuff works. Like, it's suspenseful. Like, they're almost getting caught and stuff like that. And I like that. Like, I just thought it was way beyond what it's like a basic slasher setup with like a much better execution.
One thing about the whole pool thing, which I love, is how the suspense around the pool is amazing, but then they kind of mix in a tiny bit of comedy with that too, in a really suspenseful moment too. Like, holy shit, man, there's people out at the pool going for a swim and shit like that, and that big fat guy's in the pool. And what does he call himself? He's like, I'm a sea pig. Yeah. But it's done kind of subtly, and you're like, okay, that's kind of.
Did you catch the reference in the remake?
Yes.
Somebody says I'm a sea pig.
Yes. There's actually quite a few references to or nods to the original one, but I like that though, man, because they go rushing out there and like, holy fuck, man, I like that whole premise though, man, the body in the dirty pool, and they make, and that's actually a decent setup too to the film also, because they even bring up the fact of like, she doesn't want people using the pool, or whatever, because they're not cleaning it. It's just that whole kind of setup. At least they talk about the pool. It wasn't just there and fucking film shit. They actually bring that up.
What do you guys think about the killer's costume?
I like it.
Yeah, I love it's fucking man. Cool. I wish we saw more in it, It's like we just see him a little bit and that's it.
It's a great scene too. The great scene. That's a great scene, man. That's John Carpenter types filmmaking.
Anything to do with like jesters and that shit's fucking awesome, man.
It was a cool mask and it looked cool and everything like that. It's just a shame that we didn't get to see it more. And that fucking cop sucked dick, man. What kind of cop is that shit? You're gonna fucking roll my garbage can into a cop car and fuck that shit up and then just leave?
Listen though, man. No, Jeremy, listen.
You guys are taking out the garbage at 2:45 in the morning. What's in that garbage?
The thing is though, dude, I know for a fact, man, cops used to be a little more laid back, dude. Like, I remember we were drinking in a car one night, and I was like 16 or 17, and this cop came up and he was like, you guys can't be doing this, man. He's like, if it was the 70s or 80s, like, it'd be no problem. I'd just look away, but like, you guys can't be doing this. You know what I mean? Like, so people were way more chill, I think.
Yeah, I agree, man.
I guess so.
But
you know, one thing about this film that I've always, I mean, it's a little bit of a minor problem too, and it doesn't have to be a massive body count in these type of films, but I just feel like there is so many, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to get silly. I mean, obviously the killer has a point to who he's taking out and stuff. I mean, you start killing off randoms and stuff, it just seems kind of pointless. But I mean, the body count is pretty low in this film. You guys know what it is?
It's like 6 or 7, right?
I think there's 8 kills in this film.
See, I know you always mention the body count and stuff, but honestly,
well, it's because it's a slasher thing.
I know that, but I'm saying, like, I guess I never care about the body count that much. Like, I like slashers based on their just stories most of the time, but unless it's a Friday the 13th, that actually body count matters to me.
To be honest, man, I mean, I watch slasher flicks mostly for the body count. I mean, there's whole websites dedicated to slasher body count stuff.
I know. Most people
thing,
are.
Right?
Most people are. I'm just saying that, like me, like, I, for some reason, never notice it.
See, I don't have a problem. Like, say, if you have a slasher setup where, you know, there's like 10 people that go camping and, you know, you're probably going to get like 10 victims, probably a couple more or whatever. But, you know, in a film like this where there's so many fucking projected victims and not a lot of people die, it's like, to me, it seems like it's missed opportunity.
Yeah, but the remake is the same way, though, bro.
Exactly. There's a super low. There's only 10 kills in the remake. There could have been fucking.
So that's more
30.
than this one, then.
Yeah. I mean, and most of them actually happen towards the end of the film too. I mean, to be honest, most of the kills in the remake are, yeah, dude, like they're mostly in the second half of the film. It's crazy. It takes a while actually to start doing some shit, but you know, I mean, it's not a big problem for me. I don't need like 1,000 deaths, and it doesn't need to be a John Woo film or anything. But like, man,
Petty first Jason.
I always think of that one when I think of a lot of deaths. I think when Jason's in the cornfield just hacking motherfuckers up.
Yeah, I understand it becomes pointless.
Been, you know?
I mean, if the killer in this film started taking out fucking random dudes in the party and shit, it would be like, okay, well, why is he killing them? His point is he's, you know, acting, you know, getting...
That fucking scene, man, with Jason is so fucking badass. Jesus Christ, that scene's
But I mean,
awesome.
even in the remake, man, like how many fucking survivors are in that film? It's crazy to see that.
Yeah.
You know, it's different to see that type of shit, man. And actually, the way the resolution in that film too is actually quite interesting of who actually does the deed. But
so, in terms of this one, do you guys have anything else?
I don't think so.
I mean, not going too much into it and giving everything away. Not really.
Like, we can't talk super in depth about it because we are remaining spoiler free. But I want to hear Moodz' rating first because I'm curious.
Okay. This film right here, man, I've always been a really, really big fan of it. I even love the ending. I love the twists that happen in the film. You know, I guess you want to call them twists or whatever. But the revelations that happen in the third act, I have no problems with, man. I actually kind of enjoy that. I just like the one part of the film where he's like, "You're the bait." Yeah, it's like straight up, and I fucking love that shit, man. It's totally awesome. Killer's costume's totally awesome, but it's a very, it's filled with tension. There's a lot of tension in this film, and you know, even though the ending, without giving too much away, it is what it is. You know, like I said, I really don't have a lot of problems with that, but it's a film filled with almost a lot of likable characters too. That's another funny thing about this film. A lot of early 80s slashers, man, have all those cliche characters. I'm not saying this one doesn't have a lot of cliche characters, but for the most part, even a lot of the girls, even though what they've done and they're probably not likable, they're actually not really that bad. Mm-hmm. Music's fantastic. The score is fantastic in this film. Everything just kind of seems to go in place. The pacing is really good too. Never a downtime in this film. No downtime at all. I think it's paced really, really well. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. I'm a big fan of this one. I always have been a big fan of this one. And I'm sticking to it, man. Sticking to it.
All right. Me, personally, I definitely like this movie a lot. Like, I don't know if it was just the perfect night to watch it, but I was so into it. And I was like... Yep. I was like, dude, these, like, maybe it's because my expectations was a little lower too. Like, I didn't really know what to think of it. It's one I've always wanted to see. I've just never went out and sought it out. I I never know what to say.
Suck it out.
Suck it out. I never went and blow
Definitely suck it out.
Got it out.
But it was like, it was like, just one of those things that kind of was off my radar a little bit. Like I knew about it. It's a name, it's a classic name that House on Sorority Row. I've always heard of it. I thought I remembered a lot of people like being, one of my favorite slashers or whatever, but I didn't know if it would be one of mine, and it turns out that it is. Like this to me is top notch slasher, but I took like a entire point off for the beginning scene and the ridiculous way that the prank is done. So I'm coming in at a 9 out of 10.
Wow. 9 out of 10.
High praise from me for
so you mean you gave half a point off for those? You said a point.
A full point for
each
combined.
half.
Oh,
I
see. Combined.
Yeah.
So half a point then.
Yeah.
The way I interpreted it, I was like, okay, so he's in at an 8 out of 10. Really? 9 out of 10? That's crazy high for you.
This is probably, off the top of my head, like this will probably be in my top 10 slashers probably now, I think I might like it more than My Bloody Valentine, just not more than Maniac.
Yeah, no. For me, man, it's not, no.
Yeah, well, it's Canadian, you're biased.
It actually, well, no, that's nothing to do with it, but like, this one actually legitimately was in my top 10 before. I haven't done one of those lists in a long time. It'd be interesting to see how it breaks down now.
Yeah. But this was definitely a hole in my slasher film knowledge, So
I was a little bit surprised you'd never seen this one. I actually thought you had seen this film and you were just like, okay,
Nope.
Had you seen the remake before?
No.
Oh, okay, fuck. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you got, Jeremy?
All right, so like I said, when I was watching it this morning, I was saying, like, I was surprised that this movie actually was straight up, just like Blackula 2 weeks ago. I was surprised that the movie wasn't crappy, a cash-in on the slasher genre, just trying to cash in on...
You expected Slumber Party Massacre.
Correct. I expected a lot of titties, a lot of ass, a lot of banging and stuff like that, and this movie really doesn't have any of that besides some weird 80s condom pack opening things, which is weird. It's like 80s condoms. But, it's a straight-up film, placed completely straight. Soundtrack's awesome. Like Moodz says, the kills aren't really that there. There's really one awesome one in the toilet that's really awesome. It's probably the highlight of the movie. The killer's costume's really awesome. And overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm not that big of a slasher guy. I never really have been. I watch them whenever I can, but I really am not like totally in love with them like Moodz is. So I was surprised with this one. I had a good time and I liked it. So I'm also coming in at an 8 out of 10 with this one.
I would actually be curious to hear Jeremy's top 10 slasher films. You should do that.
Yeah, no shit. That's crazy.
So, So, I think we all like this one.
Interesting. All right, so moving, 26 years into the future here in 2009. And they just simply titled this film Sorority Row. Kind of get fancy with it, I guess.
All I could say...
How does Sorority Row was played out?
All I could say with this one, with the girls, is... Okay, that's
it. Some Friday samples there. That's good.
I'm surprised you said Friday.
Yes, I've seen Friday. I've seen Friday. I've seen all of Friday.
This film definitely has a very hot cast. It really does.
Yeah, man, the fucking main lead here.
Cassidy, man.
Yeah, the lead.
Like
she was. I seen her in The Office. That's where I know her from. Yeah,
looks like Danielle.
She's awesome. I like her a lot.
Fucking body.
Quick synopsis. I don't even know if I have to give one. It's the exact same premise as House on Sorority Row. Group of sorority sisters try to cover up the death of their house sister after a prank gone wrong, only to be stalked by a serial killer. The setup's a little bit different in this one, but essentially it is a prank gone wrong type film.
Yeah. All right, to get into this one a little bit, I didn't know much about this one. I just knew it came out around that time where I hated the movies that were coming out that were remakes, like The Fog and, funny enough, Prom Night, which was almost influenced this movie to be something else, because apparently this was a hard R, and then Prom Night came out, and it did really well at the box office, which still surprises me.
It's crazy.
It killed it, and then this movie was like, yo, Prom Night just killed it, yo. And then they're like, we should make this PG-13. So they started to. And then the studio was like, you know what? Like, I kind of like what we had here at first. Let's just go back to R.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
It's a good choice.
I agree. Films
enough
like
titties
this
in
should
this
not
one.
listen. I'm fine with PG-13 films, not slasher films. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Well, there's a PG-13 slasher film coming out in October that you think looks awesome.
Yeah, but not
That's
like
PG-13.
Not like this though.
Get the fuck out of
like
here!
a supernatural slasher. It's like different.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! It's still a slasher.
Nah, it's like it's not a slasher. It looks like it has a slasher setup.
So, starting this fucking film here, you know,
have you seen this before?
Yeah, I saw it when it first came out, and I had the same reaction when I first saw it because I've apparently haven't changed since 2009. But like one of the first things you see in this ridiculous fucking sorority party is this trampoline inside this huge house. It's fucking so awesome. Like I would love to. I've never been to a party before where there's a trampoline in a house.
I've been to a house where there was a trampoline inside.
That's cool, man. And so there's this huge fucking party, and there's people jumping on this trampoline, and these chicks wearing these like bunny outfits or whatever, and their asses are hanging out, and it's just like, oh my god, here we go. This shit is gonna be sleazy bad, but then it kind of goes through one of those things where they're introducing the credits and stuff, and it's kind of panning through the party. And I've never been a big fan of that type of style of filmmaking. Where
come on, man.
It's just that
is like it's one of the.
It works in some films, but in this film, I'm just like, okay, well, we get to see every inch of the fucking party. I'm like, I don't really care for it. I don't give
like
shit.
That. I like it. It gets me hyped.
I just wish it was edited, though. I just would like showcase the scene, edit it, go to a different room. Like it doesn't have to pan around. I don't know, man. I'm just like, for some reason, I've always had an issue with that type of filmmaking. But anyways, man, what do you guys think of the prank that they pull in this film?
It's better than the original.
It is, man, and it's fucking.
But the fucking little brother, dude, man.
So of the times, dude. Like the roofie aspect, and like filming it. Oh, dude,
I did not buy the little brother, bro.
I thought there was one moment when he overacted, but
he's horrible. He's horrible, bro. He's definitely the worst part.
Bad, man.
Even when he comes up at the end of the movie,
I thought he did much better at the end of the movie.
Nah, he's still fucking shitty. He's the worst part of the movie.
Yeah? What do you think?
Yeah.
Did you have a major issue with him too?
Not really. He's not in it enough, really, to have a major impact on it. I just think his character is
kind of... He's the major part of the fucking prank. How could he not be...
Because I thought that he was acting how, like... See, you're comparing it to how movie actors act in a stressful situation. Meanwhile, like... I've seen people go nuts, dude, like in stressful situations, and I like the more realistic look where it's just like it's not like fine tuned.
I thought he was overacting.
For
I
what?
Thought he was
to fill the viewers in on this.
Overreacting for what?
Are we gonna tell what this prank is?
Yeah.
It's kind of good, man. It's kind of good. So basically,
I liked it.
What the girls do, they get one of their sorority sisters to basically be roofied. Kind of thing, and they tell this guy, that she's all fucking roofied out and shit like that, and he's all making out with her and doing some crazy shit and stuff. But anyways, the prank is she kind of throws up in his mouth, kind of thing, right? But then they take it one step further. She starts to choke and gag and stuff, and then he's just like losing her mind, like holy fuck, what the fuck's wrong with her, kind of thing, blah blah blah. So they ultimately take her in a vehicle, and
they convince him that, like, dude, we gotta hide the body.
Like she's like fucking dying here, kind of thing, right? And he's like, oh, and he starts to fucking freak out. Anyways, they get to this location where they're gonna dump this body, and yeah, man, shit just kind of goes.
She's kind of like, still faking it on thing, and then you're following these other two characters, and they're talking about, well, how do we get her to? Is she gonna like float or something? And like this fucking
initially
dude,
what they do is all these girls are like, well, we have to do something. We have to kind of cut up the body and stuff like that. So we'll go find some
they're
rocks.
making
And
it
she's
seem
like
way
laying
more
on the
dramatic.
ground.
And he's like,
and they're all
can't
just
do
like,
this, man. And he's like throwing
see, that's
shit.
why I thought he was overreacting.
But
I do kind of like the way they set this up,
because he's fucking scared, man.
It's not coming out of his fucking
Well, because he
nose.
thinks he's responsible
He's
for
throwing up,
killing
dude.
her.
He thinks he's gonna have to cut a body up.
Yeah, dude, like
How would
he
you
feels
act?
responsible because they're the ones that gave him the goddamn roofie to give to her.
How would
So
you act? Yeah.
He's feeling responsible
But
for his
I'm
death
not.
directly.
It's a fucking movie. It's not real life.
Well, whatever,
Oh,
Jeremy.
yeah,
It-
but
it
I
is
mean,
what it
I'm
is. But
saying it's
anyways,
not that. It could have been dialed down a little bit in a certain point, but I think that it's a fine take on that performance.
I think it's an effective thing too, man, because you got all these girls kind of pacing out and going to find some rocks to chop up this body type thing. And then all of a sudden, out of the fucking blue, someone mentions like, well, if we're going to throw the body in the water, we need like, they got water or air in the lungs. All of a sudden, he fucking grabs his tire iron and he fucking slams into her chest. And all the girls are like, holy shit, what the fuck, dude?
Yo, listen, I love
really
that
good.
scene because it's like I put myself in that position and like, dude, your heart would just drop to your stomach and run, dude. You would just be like, oh
Right,
my
gone
fucking
wrong.
God. You know what I mean? Like, cause, listen, dude, anybody who knows me and has hung out with me knows that I'm ridiculous with, like, dicking around like that. Like, this shit would happen to me. I would be the fucking dude to accidentally kill this chick because I went too far. You know what I mean? So I can respect it because, like, that, I would be that guy. Like, I would be the one that, like, oh shit, I got somebody killed for this prank, you know what I mean? So I'm like sitting there like, ugh, like shaking and shit. Like I thought that they handled it way better than the original in terms of like the accidental murder, you know what I mean? And like they all go crazy. The only thing that I don't like, man, and it's more of like a cliched thing. I've seen this 1,000 times, every time with these prank gone wrongs, there's with the original, with I Know What You Did Last Summer, with every fucking movie ever that does this, you always have the one girl who's like, we can't do this, we can't, like, for once I would just like everybody to be down. Like, yeah,
It was
like,
two of them though.
But the
It was
chances of
Cass
everybody
and-
agreeing on
It was Cass and the redhead.
kind of.
The semi-hot redhead.
that's Bruce Willis's daughter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's daughter. But yeah, no, I mean, realistically speaking, man, the odds are probably stacked against you in every one of those type of situations. I mean, you have 10 people hanging around. Chances are not all 10 are going to agree on everything, right? There's always going to be that one person who has the morals.
But like,
they're like, man, we can't dump this. We have to call the cops. Like,
I
this is
mean,
fucked.
I would just totally be down for hiding the body, honestly. Like, I just would be, because, like, and one thing that I really liked, though, how they handled it, because they were like, listen, the main, like, bad girl kind of, she's like, listen, she handled this great. The way that her dialogue, she's like, listen, it makes no fucking sense for us to go down for this. Like, she wouldn't wanted us to. And I actually believe that, because if you guys accidentally did that to me, I wouldn't want you guys to throw your lives away. Like, that was not the intention. And they weren't trying something evil enough that was gonna get somebody hurt either. You know what I mean? Like, some pranks are just way too, like the one with the gun, like, that's, like, they deserve that shit. Because, like, you don't fucking do a gun prank, you know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous. But, like, this was, like, kind of harmless, like, oh, haha, you thought you killed her. You know what I mean? But, like, I kind of like what she was saying, where she's like, look, she wouldn't have wanted this to happen to us, you know what I mean? Because I believe that. Like, I believe that girl wouldn't want them to go down for the rest of their lives.
It's interesting because that speech right there was like her entire character, right? That's what she did. She talked.
She reminded me of the broad in My Super Psycho Sweet 16, like the main.
Little bit.
She reminded me of that kind of character.
It's interesting because Jessica, the lead blonde bitch there, she's pretty much an unlikable character, but at the same time, you kind of like her at the same time. Like, she's not as
everything
bad.
she's saying, dude. Honestly.
Well, that's the thing, because even in certain situations, man, in the film, there's actually one scene in this film what I feel like is just completely out of fucking place. Is the scene where she meets with her boyfriend's father.
Yeah.
That
senator.
fucking scene is so unnecessary in the film. It's ridiculously out of place. It's crazy, but it kind of shows a different side to her too. Like, she's kind of vulnerable and like just like what the fuck?
I think that the intentions is to make her seem like the classic like villainous, hot girl that doesn't care about like Super Psycho Sweet 16, like that cliche. But this one has definitely more levels where I almost wish they would have toned down that a little bit, because I'm so tired of that. Like I like that they kind of, her and the main girl kind of was getting along at the end of the film. You know what I mean? They were working together and stuff. Yeah. And I like that, because I don't think every movie has to have this evil blonde that's, only cares about popularity and will throw anybody under the bus. Right? Yeah, they tried. And I respect that too. I just, what scene I'm talking about, man, I just felt like that was completely a misstep in the film. You just didn't need that scene at all. I mean, this film was already too fucking long. It was. That's like
it's an hour and 42 minutes.
This film definitely could have benefited from a few scenes being cut and a couple scenes cut shorter. There were some long ass scenes in this film, and
like the hot tub scene with the Asian broads fucking following the wire in the hot tub.
Yeah, dude.
Like that goes on for like 2.5 minutes or something.
Yeah, there's another scene.
You mean where the bubbles are up?
Yeah.
No, I like that.
But there's another scene I can't remember. It goes on for like 7 minutes. You're like, holy fuck! Like this thing is suffering from a bad edit, really. But
where's the titties? It's a fucking sorority.
There was some, wasn't there?
Yeah, in one scene, and they didn't even pick the hot broads. They picked the fucking ugly chicks.
Surprisingly, you think with a remake like this, of this caliber, with these type of girls, you think there would be a lot more nudity and a lot more sleaziness. There was, you get some asses in the beginning and a few titties, but it's actually not that sleazy. No. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Even though, but one of my biggest problems with the film is kind of the relationship between Jessica and the girl, where that kind of jealous battle that they're having in the film. What the fuck is that girl's name? You know what I'm talking about? Like, she just kind of shows up, and then they're having like, oh, you fucked my boyfriend and blah blah blah.
Sister.
Oh, that was the chick's sister.
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember what her name is. But anyways, that whole kind of subplot in the film, I think
it's to be a red herring, though.
It is, man. It totally is. But it was just the way they showcased it in the beginning. Like, she just comes out of fucking nowhere. She's just there.
No, she's pledging. Like, she's in the school now.
Next year.
I know, but she's So it wouldn't make sense that she came out of nowhere per se.
No, but it seemed like their battle was just like already so.
I kind of get it. I see what you're saying. Like, it seemed like there was a history there when there wasn't.
So much. It just seems so fucking, just so much history there. All of a sudden, I was like, what the fuck? Okay, crazy.
So what do you guys? What do you guys think of this one compared to a lot of the remakes at the time? My opinion, it's one of the better ones.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Most definitely.
I think it's one of the better ones in general. That's not really saying much. But next to The Hills Have Eyes, I
wouldn't quite put it that high.
No, The Hills Have... Nothing is ever going to come close to The Hills Have Eyes. Remake as being one of the best of that generation. But what's the next one on the list?
I like Chainsaw, Halloween. Both of those are really good to me.
So many people just shut off the podcast again. I'll never forget the comment. I'm never listening again. You guys like the Halloween remake?
Yeah. Maniac is up there for me.
Maniac's the best one.
All three of those I mentioned, I think, are better than this one.
But those are like, I guess.
But they're still remakes.
Yeah, I guess.
They're from the time period.
This one's pretty good, man. I thought there was some pretty interesting kills. I think the laundry chute kill was actually pretty innovative. I'd never seen that before. That was pretty cool.
And I actually didn't hate the tire iron weapon, which I thought I would.
No, the tire. It makes sense, right? I mean, if you're gonna,
Here we go with the making sense thing, like the bowling ball bag.
No, I mean, if you're gonna fucking kill somebody with a tire iron in the, to set up the whole film, you might as well use the fucking tire.
I hated that ending shot though of the of the killer falling through the floor.
Dude,
that just looked so shitty to me.
Let's get into this. The biggest fucking problem with this entire movie is the entire end. I went from an 8.5 to a 9 down because I was enjoying this movie so much.
There's so much CG in the end of the film. The whole fucking burning house is CG'd, man.
The double twist, awful. The motive of the killer, awful. The reveal of the killer, both of them awful.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude,
I agree.
It is cringy.
Stole my shot. I was going to say, dude, the reveal of the killer is one of the worst. It sucks, man, that they did that. or the motive. I mean, it's just fucking.
It's so lame. I seriously,
so fucking stupid.
It was like,
and then when
pull a gun out and shoot this movie in the head because you just killed it.
And then when
stupid.
when I'm just gonna say they're like, oh come on, let's go knock off the last person. It's like, oh come on, man, this character throughout the entire film wouldn't do that. And then what actually ends up happening to the killer, it's the shit.
The shit?
But the whole idea.
It's
but the
shit.
whole idea.
Not the shit. It's shit.
The whole idea of knocking off people that were, that would know or are involved in this thing is ridiculous in itself, because at the one point where the killer is actually naming off people that told other people, how the fuck do you know that they didn't tell other people?
Yeah, those are just the ones that you found out about. Like, it is
fucking
ludicrous.
Retarded. It's literally head shaking moment. You're like, oh, that is so fucking stupid. So when you were following every person and knew every conversation that they were having,
weak,
it's
dude.
fucking ridiculous, man.
Like, dude, Andrew said this is his second favorite remake, and before I started watching this, and I was like,
dude.
I was like, okay, I like this. There's these odd little beats of comedy that aren't too much, but they're just like enough to make you smile, and. Like,
no, dude, that line when he's like, oh my god, it's Sarah, and the blonde's like, oh, she's had better days. I literally fucking bursted out.
She said she looked horrible or something.
Dude, how about the line where the fucking bitch goes to get her pills from the doctor? The one that dies with the bottle in the throat?
Yeah.
And he says, we don't have time for catch and rape me. Dude, that line fucking killed me the first time I watched this, and it got me again, man. It's so funny.
I find that most of the girls are actually likable, even the one that's supposed to be unlikable. I like Carrie Fisher. I just thought what would have been cool is if they got one of the original girls to play the house mother. That would have been cool.
That's what I thought they should probably should.
Because
I thought
they were giving mad nods to the original, which I like. I feel like these people respectfully made this movie.
Yeah. A Kane, totally.
Yeah, the Kane and stuff. But yeah, don't you feel like the Carrie Fisher casting was a little bit random in this role?
I said that today. Like, so when I was watching, I went, is that Carrie Fisher? It's like...
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So weird.
I didn't even know it was her. I was watching it, I was like, this chick looks so familiar. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's Carrie Fisher, yeah.
Surprisingly, they did, for the time this came out in 2009, generally a lot of these remakes were... you'd have your CG moments. It does, man. There's actually a couple moments in this film where they try to mimic the head decapitation scene from the first one, a little bit, but they CG the blood in that scene, and they actually don't decapitate her, and it's like really not well done at all. It's actually a really bad kill.
And then when he pulls out the tire iron one time, the blood comes out from the bottom of the throat. CG.
Dude,
you know what I don't like about new films? Too. Listen, this is a trope that I've noticed in these era of films. All right, whenever you look at a slasher from the 80s, like any of them really, like whenever the kill happens, right, and it's like Jason. There's a person up against a tree, and then Jason goes whoosh, and stabs him in the face. This nice little. Whoosh.
Yeah.
In this, it's like they do this like fast cut, like this surprising, like unrealistic speed, like this, and it drives me crazy. I hate when they do that because it just seems fake as fuck. All right, you wanna get what? Let's get back to
rating.
I gotta finish up.
I guess we could do some ratings here. Yeah. Who wants to go first? Is it my turn? Is it my turn to go first?
No, it's Jeremy's turn to go first.
All right, Sorority Row. So, I was actually surprised with this one. I thought it was going to be a typical rushed, late 2000s shitty remake on the lens of Prom Night and The Fog and all those ones that were based off of 80s and 80 films. So, but I was surprised. The acting is good. The girls are good looking. The kills are good, even though some of them are CG. Like Moodz said, the laundry chute kill is actually pretty original and pretty cool. Hate compound fractures. That's the one thing that makes me go, because I've had one. But it's a pretty enjoyable film. Like I said, the ending kind of hurt quite a bit for me. When the fucking person falls through the floor, it's just retarded in my opinion, and it looks really bad. And everything that leads up to that is kind of dumb. But it's still an enjoyable film. It's totally watchable. So I give this one A 7 out of 10.
I think this film is way too long. 101 minutes, man, for this one is just insanely too long. I mean, we're talking like 8-9 minutes longer than the original. That's crazy, man. Rumor Willis, man, she is one weird looking chick. You know, I thought maybe it was just this movie, but she's fucking weird looking, man. She's not too bad, but she's kind of, I don't know, she's like a combination of Bruce and Demi, like completely.
But I know you love the Asian. I know you got your Asian fetish going with that broad.
She's pretty good. But I mean, Cassidy, man, like I was telling the story before,
Jesus
like, man,
Christ.
Dude, my buddy was engaged to this girl a few years ago, and Cassidy is her fucking doppelganger. Like, identical. It's fucking crazy watching her, but overall, man, the film's pretty good. I think it just, you know, like I said, kind of suffers from being a little bit too long. Could have been edited down. There's some scenes. The CG in the end of the film is just, it's really not good. You know, like the house burning down with all the fire. Like, all that shit's CG and it just doesn't look good at all. It's kind of frustrating, but I can look past that, man. I think the reveal of the killer is probably one of the biggest problems of the film. The motives are just ridiculous. Like, I mean, floppy cock ridiculous, man. That's not good at all. It's stupid. But I do like the fact, you know, I like the weapon in this film. I think that's pretty cool. There's some pretty inventive kills. And I love the fact that the one scene where, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when they pull the knife out of the dude hanging in the laundry chute and he just fucking falls down.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's these subtle beats of comedy that aren't like in your face, but they're fun.
Fucking made me laugh so hard. I was like, oh my god, that's so good. Yeah, man. But overall, it's actually a pretty solid remake. It does suffer from some obvious problems and stuff like that. But I am also right there with a 7 out of 10 on this one. I think it's pretty decent for a remake.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what, man? I was seriously like up in the 8.5 territory when watching this until the final act, where it was just atrociously dumb. It was just dumb as hell. Like, I was mad. I was like, are you serious right now? Like, you just ruined this good movie by like making, like, the one guy, like there's like kind of like a double twist where you think one person's the killer and he's like not. Like, I'm just like, that's dumb. And then the actual killer was, I was like, maybe they'll save this. And then it was like, nope, that's dumb too. You know what I mean? So like, I have major issues with that. And like, this is the only time where I wish we did like 0.25 sometimes, because like, I don't know what to rate this movie, because I just gave the, Super Psycho Sweet 16 at 7. I feel like this is a much stronger 7, but I don't feel like I can go 7.5. So I'm just going to go 7.
7's across the board.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because of that damn end, man. That's why I can't go 7.5.
I agree, man. I was up, you know, pretty high too, and, you know, wow, dude, it's just savage, man, how much, you know, the last 20 minutes of a film can really affect you.
It definitely is very prevalent with slashers, because like, that's important. Like,
it's either good or bad reveals, man. But like the motive, dude, so fucking silly. But it's one thing to have that type of motive, but then to explain his detail and stuff and be like, you know, this person told this person. I'm like, literally leaning into the screen going, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
It's one of those moments you're like, that's ridiculously stupid, man. That's so dumb. But,
I mean, this movie is way better than any of those like post-Scream slashers that came out in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Big time, man. I like this movie more than all three fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer films almost combined.
Yeah. I mean, this movie is definitely, like, if you've avoided it because like that remake trend of the 2000s and like sort of what you'd, you know, like the prom nights and stuff, like, definitely give this one a shot, because even with the stupid ending, like, I still enjoyed it a lot. Like the middle and beginning part were like really fun. So like, it's worth a watch, and honestly, like, this is one that I would watch again for sure. So I actually don't even own this, so I got to pick it up. I'm gonna grab the Blu-ray. I thought I owned it. I could have sworn I owned it, but here was The Stepfather that I kept thinking.
Shit, man, there's a Blu-ray of this? I'm still rocking the DVD.
I got the Blu-ray.
Yeah, so that's it for this episode. What are we doing next week? Or next 2 weeks from now?
We are doing in, what is this, 109? So in episode 110, we are doing Deliverance and Southern Comfort, which happens to be a Patreon pick for a feature review by the homeboy D-Nice, Derek B.
Yeah, Derek
10 out of 10,
Bouger
Derek.
102.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of a different show, actually.
For sure.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, man. So looking forward to that shit. But yeah, man, let's get the fuck out of here. We've been recording for a long time tonight. So, Jeremy, take us out.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 109, crazy, of the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast. As always, if you want to follow the man Moodz himself, you can do so at youtube.com/Moodz616. So as if you want to follow that no good douchebag Mexican asshole JP, who still shouldn't have gotten that full moon box, that you could do so at youtube.com/doubleshotj. And you can always follow my Jewish ass at youtube.com/NESruler22. And also do not watch JP's Reanimator review because he shouldn't have gotten that either. As always, you can email us any questions at 22shotsofmoodsandhorror at gmail.com. That's 22shotsofmoods andhorror at gmail.com. As always, you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/22shotspodcast. Join us on the Facebook page, facebook.com. Search bar 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror and join that football league. And as always, if you have any questions, you can leave us a voicemail at 724-426-6665. And please support us on our affiliates, the Horror Box, right, JP? Is that what it's called?
Horror Pack, but we need to redo the link because they changed it. Okay. So,
Horror Pack and Terror Tees, right?
Terror Threads?
Terror Thread.
Anyway, the most important is the Patreon.
I'm gonna get there. And as always, please, please, please help get the sand sucked out of my vagina by supporting the Patreon, patreon.com/22shotspodcast. We are only $43 away from getting that sand sucked out of my vagina and right into Jerry's asshole. So please, 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 please donate so we can all say, fuck you, Jerry, even more. And once again, fuck you, Jerry. Fuck you, Jerry. Fuck you, Jerry. And that should be it for episode 109 of the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast. We should be back next week, or in 2 weeks, with episode 110. We'll be digging into Deliverance and Southern Comfort, 2 interesting films for this show. So I'd be curious to listen to Moodz and JP's review. So that should be it, everybody. Everybody have a good and safe week, and we shall talk to you guys soon with episode 110. Peace out, and fuck you, Jerry.
Peace!